Holy Land lovers, it's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. And I kind we got so distracted with chat yesterday. I didn't even do like a proper sign on. I spent like 20 minutes trying to find it in the lead up to the start of the stream yesterday, and I got mad at me, which is my favorite person to be mad at. Not the most deserving person because we live in 2025. Specifically, it's currently March 15th, 2025. And for those who were asking me yesterday if I had any pie on Pi Day, I had pie the day after Pi Day, which is actually kind of my speed. I tend to like generally avoid the fancy day that encourages a bunch of people to go out and do something they wouldn't normally do, and celebrate adjacent to it. That's not really how holidays work, but it works for me. However, my answer is still a cheat because I was like, I don't know, I like dessert pies, and people are like, that counts, and I'm like, I know people who get mad at me when I say that. But I went to Dairy Queen today, and my mom pointed out that they had a Reese's peanut butter cup pie ice cream blizzard, which ultimately it appears is just like their regular Reese's ice cream blizzard dessert with some like graham cracker blended into it. But that was fine by me. that's that was good. You also remember to update your car's clock for daylight saving time. Now, what's funny about that is I honestly think I changed my car's clock for daylight saving for like not daylight saving time like 2 weeks ago. Like I just left it wrong until then, and it just changed. Now I have to do it again. All of your clocks auto update. I mean, mine don't. Like my kitchen ones don't. My bedroom alarm clock that I think was constructed in the 70s doesn't. And my car clock is not smart. Which is weird because it does like track date accurately. There's just no, it just doesn't have whatever cross reference is required with like almanac data or whatever to account for daylight saving time. I don't know. It's funny when your dad asks if you updated all your clocks and you're like, yeah, 10 years ago. Nah, you should expect what appliances do you have in your kitchen that stuff updates? I mean, I guess like smart everything exists. I really don't need smart toaster and whatever. Toaster's a bad example because toaster doesn't have a clock in it. But like, I don't need that. I don't need that at all. I'm not really into most smart devices. If smartphones weren't like literally required for everything, I'm not even entirely sure whether I'd have one. I think I probably would still have a smartphone because it's really just like always have computer and get phone call. It's a little different from most other smart devices in that respect. But like I think I would genuinely consider not doing it at the very least. As opposed to just the foregone conclusion of like so many things today are like you can't do it if you can't scan a QR code or download our app. Which, and this is true, bite me. I don't need your app. Stop. Just stop it. Stop with all the apps. There's too many apps. Except like appetizers. Keep those coming. Not enough appetizers, too many apps. But your app is so cool. What does your app do? Is it just like the same thing I could do with like a phone call, but you want my data? Because that's what most of the apps are. No, I bet if Cotillion made an app, it'd be a good app. Cotillion and I are like such contemporary dudes of like we're always talking about like make it a video game and then we have lives. But one of these days, and then you'll download our app and you'll be like, oh, but you said not to do it. And I'll be like, yeah, everyone likes hypocrisy when it's them. But maybe that's just on my mind because I've been watching a lot of White Lotus and I'm convinced that's like the entire thesis statement of White Lotus. Moved all the functionality off your website and only onto the app. That does sound correct. I don't know why that's a thing, but that is how we do it. I don't know if there's any issues with the audio today. I'm leaving the door to the room open because, man, the PS5 kicked up some, like, serious heat yesterday. I managed not to complain about it, but, like, I don't know what the internal temperature of this room was, but it felt like walking into a freezer going out in the hallway afterwards. It was like, whoa, yikes, yikes forever. So jealous of the shirt. I am a big fan of the King and John shirt. I wanted to wear green because we're like adjacent to St. Patrick's Day. Somehow I was convinced it was today, but it's not. It's Monday. So you all enjoy that. There's not really a stream close to it to talk about it or whatever. You hear the tiny ones don't solve that problem either. I have no difficulty believing that they probably call it the Slim PS5. Doesn't really address that issue. I don't know. In the scheme of things, I'd probably rather have it like work consistently and be a little warm. But it had both been a while since I'd like really properly used the PS5, and also like hadn't really used it since like having any degree of temperature control over the space it was in. And in a way, it's really my first experience with the dramatic nature of how much heat it kicks up. Not because it wasn't doing that at my old apartment, but because the ambient temperature of my old apartment was so warm, it became really difficult to notice if something, like if the temperature just suddenly increased by like 4 degrees or something. But yeah. This is a Glass Cannon podcast shirt. It is a reference both to the fact that one of the founders of that podcast is from Philadelphia and frequently uses the word John, which is sort of a replacement for whatever that thing is you can't think of the word for. And also the King in Yellow, a sort of notorious, I think it's specifically H.P. Lovecraft and not just like an H.P. Lovecraft adjacent thing. But, you know, it's sort of a Lovecraftian horror staple is the King in Yellow, like a weird play that like affects people who interact with it or see it performed or read it or whatever. They did a whole story arc with that. The guy who's from Philadelphia ran it, and I was a pretty big fan of it. But also, I just think it's really funny to have just the juxtaposition of the really scary thing and the stupid sentiment of the King and John is really funny to me. Anyway, speaking of nightmares that manifest themselves into horror settings, Citizen Sleeper. Now, that's a tenuous connection at best, but, you know, I'm doing my best out here. I think it is arguable, though, that Citizen Sleeper has... So, the story of Citizen Sleeper is that, like, you are a person who was downloaded or uploaded into, like, a company-owned robot shell sort of thing, and got really tired of being a corporate indentured servant, and then like tried to escape into space, and are one of few, if any, other survivors of some concerted effort to escape some sort of company mining ship. And you wash up, in a sense, at a space station and then try to make a life for yourself there. But you are subject to a need for some proprietary medical technology that the company uses to keep people from running away from the company, and so you're gradually deteriorating, and you have to find a way to like find enough like food and money to accumulate black market resources to keep yourself going. I mean that's sort of that's generally what we're doing here. In a more specific sense, that new controller turn on, it's cycle 9. Oh, okay, there is a place where you could check the cycle. I know at one point Demolition said something happened on like day 70, and I was like, how would you even know? I haven't seen a place where that tracks. We're a machinist, and let me tell you what the machinist does. This is sort of a role-playing game, so you do have classes. The machinist is a fun ability where you have a percentage chance to earn scrap, like an additional like resource that you can sell and use for certain story events in the game. It just so happens that that percentage chance to do that is 0, or so I am led to believe by my experience playing as a machinist, where I've gotten literally like one of those after, I don't know, like 30 some odd checks that are supposed to have a 20% chance of doing it. It's just like, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. This is a weirdly insistent bit of the ambient soundtrack. So yeah, is the music too loud? I cranked it like way down in the edit yesterday, but no one said anything yesterday. There is a bun, that's true. So we have like a to-do list of like how to exist, and it basically populates anytime you meet anyone who you could like try to help or like advance your life or whatever. You know, for example, you could just try to survive. That seems like a good one. I should probably invest a little bit more in that today. There's the sidereal ticket, which is like a way to get off this space station by working real good. There's help Lem work. This is really important because Lem is a good friend and a good father, and he has a child named Mina who has a precious rabbit named Bun, and they must be protected at all costs. I will have no shame about like resigning this entire space station to its untimely destruction if it means that Mina and Bun escape. Yeah, so like we just encountered like some subplot that sounds like DLC about like refugees who like made it to the space station and aren't being treated well. There's like a hacker guy who's trying to like learn about the past of the station that was like built on a previous corporation's infrastructure or something like that. We have some sense through our technology that someone is like tracking our signal to the station and is like probably going to try and like arrest us or something. I kind of just have some like personal interest in like learning how to craft cool parts for like fun and profit. I think that will like greatly aid some of my other tasks if I can ever get around to that. But annoyingly, this thing that I would like to do very much is gated behind contributing a certain amount of scrap to a marketplace. And even though my character is well equipped to do that, my dice rolls are not. Study the Winterlight. That is like the guy who sort of woke us after salvaging the ship container that we like washed up in. He's like trying to salvage some spaceship that we like helped him get by doing good work for him. And I think that covers everything, broadly speaking. Let you know when it's safe to take the hacker's guy's plot. It's a specific trigger. Okay. And Demolition mentioned that like there was some way to break the game doing that, and I was not comfortable with this because it seems like if I was not told that there was some major issue with doing that, like it would be an extremely high priority for me to disable the tracker. It seems really important. Because it seems like something obviously really heinously bad will happen if we don't address that, and we have like 3 days. So it's like not gonna happen. So we are gonna get eaten by a Gru or something. Hey, Eos, hope your Saturday is going well. Just in time for the end of the recap. So we just started day 9, I guess. Heishan plot. And we have some good dice rolls. I was contemplating perhaps making a push to establish ourselves at the Greenway. The Greenway is a location where we can like acquire mushrooms and possibly some other sort of like edible forage. But we have a guy who we've been calling our husband. He's just like this chef at like some kind of stall in one of the marketplaces, and he seems like a cool guy. And he's like, "Hey, like we could help each other. Why don't you like bring me some mushrooms, and I'll make you my cool special weird mushroom recipe." But I also have like $6 US. And that does seem like a problem. So I feel like I probably shouldn't go all in on the Greenway today, because I should probably have some amount of money so I don't die. Like, at the very least, I should probably... Yeah, I don't know. Like, I kind of need to start... Like, I went kind of all in trying to open up access to the part of the station that has the Greenway in it, because I didn't realize that there would be, like, multiple extra hurdles to getting the mushrooms after that. I thought it might just be, like, committing dice and thus actions to them. But, like, it seems to be that, but also before I can do that, I have to, like, commit dice and actions to something that unlocks the dice and actions that I can spend. So like I think I should start building up money again. Also doing engineering tasks, it gives me that negligible chance to get scrap that I desperately need. It won't work because I'm playing the game, but like still in a strategic sense, it makes sense for me to try and do that. I would really like to open up the Ort exchange. Because then I believe I will get access to the Ort furnace where I can make ship mine cores or something, and those I can sell for profit, and possibly also like advanced plot, mostly sell for profit. So let's do, what was the, no, I need to check that hacking substructure. This needs a 3, doesn't it? Yeah, okay, so the 4 is not gonna help me. I kind of think the correct thing to do is spend my 2 5s. These are good rolls for today, by the way, because you roll like D6. So like 2 5s and a 6 and a 4 is pretty good. So I think I want to like devote my 5s to engineering tasks because I'll get a +1 and that means my result is automatically 6, which automatically like critically succeeds and gives me the best possible result. Which in the case of a task like this shipbuilding thing I've been really focused on means that I get like 2 progress markers towards like some cool story event that will happen in the future. And also make $15 US, which is enough to eat for the day. But like it's probably a good idea to save the 6 that I have for something that I don't have an engineering bonus to, because it will critically succeed and it can be something I'm kind of bad at, or at least not good at. Ahoy Neko, welcome to the stream. So maybe we spend the 6 on the Greenway, and then I'm not entirely sure what to do with the 4. Yeah, I think I like the idea of so if we critically succeed at Walk the Greenway, we get like a higher like bonus to the clock. It has like a worse failure condition. We've gotten like 1 character upgrade and we used it to like foresee how badly bad results will go, which is good. You see that the Flareon had a child? Yes. This is my new Flareon. She's so fluffy I could die. This is what I most wanted from the latest Pokemon Center release, was this very fluffy, gigantic keychain. I love it. It's great. No notes. Anyway. Is that a sitting cutie? Nah, this is, I think they're called like Adventure Pals or something, is the line. Yeah, it has like the world's largest, like the absolute bonkersest giant key ring on it. It's really big. I mean, I thought it was like kind of expensive for a keychain, and then it showed up, I'm like, oh, it's the biggest keychain I've ever seen. Are we planning on using the 6 for anything else? I mean, like, I was just sort of discussing that I think the 6 is best spent on something that's important to me that's not an engineering task, because then I can like automatically succeed at it. I think in this moment the highest payoff for that is Walk the Greenway, because I do want to advance the Greenway. I want to keep being friends with our husband the Mushroom Man, and like both of these have kind of like rough failure conditions, so like getting the bonus on that seems good. But also I have like 2 5s, so I can make like good progress on my sort of like main task by like treating those as 6s. Yeah, today is 4 5 5 6. So I think it's best to spend the 6 here. And this is like half the clock, right? Yeah, that's really good. Oh, and we got plus, oh, and we got plus energy. Huh. That's interesting. It didn't specifically call that out in the results. Yeah, no, this was a really good day for die rolls. Now, I will hasten to point out that I'm about to go do 2 engineering tasks, and I will get scrap from neither of them, which, like, is, like, also not a great roll. So, like, I wouldn't say we've been, like, overperforming overall or anything like that. So, because we have engineering, we can treat this 5 as a 6 for an engineering task. So, that's why I wanted to save the 5s for this. So this should give us, I think it's still 2 progress and the 15 money. Yeah, double plus Sidereal Horizon. And we got, just to point out, no scrap. And then we're going to do that a second time. Oh my god. Is that scrap? Unbelievable. That is, in fact, scrap. Let me sell that scrap. That's our second scrap of the entire run. Did I get 2 progress from that? Did that do 2? That's pretty good. Yeah, actually, no, wait. Because I've sold... What was it at before? No, that must be 1. Because I think I've sold 3 scrap. Because I bought 3 things from one of the traders, and 2 of them were scrap, and 1 of them was something else. Yeah, 3 to 4. Yeah. I'm just misremembering where it was at. But the question for today is, like, what to do with the 4? Wait, what is this? It's a new ship incoming? Take several cycles to reach the starboard belt and return. Oh, maybe it's that same trader coming back. Yes, my mom is correct, Neko. You have identified the theme that when I was, like, initially setting up for today, I, like, set some of the big Pokemon next to small ones, and then I was like, I'm gonna roll with this, because I like it. It looks a little sloppy, I'll be honest, but the sentiment is nice. I'm not sure what to do with the 4. Let me take another look at, like, what's going on. Some of these newer locations. Not loving the risky at -1 or danger at 0. Like, neither of those sound super great with, like, a middling roll. And that's to, like, explore a place that I genuinely don't even know if it's, like, useful to me. Dragos, that's an interesting suggestion. I'm, like, not super invested in Dragos, to be honest, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't do it anyway. Oh, look at that. There's a -1 danger to steal the heart. Wow. Okay, so can we talk about how the engage action is just, like, do jerk things? Is to, like, be, like, a rude boy? Do I remember the Pokemon film with the baby Nidoqueen? Makes you think of the absolutely tiny Flareon, Jigglypuff, and Pikachu. Oh, it sounds only really vaguely familiar. Like, I do feel like I've seen that, but I don't really remember anything about it. But, like, seriously, these engage actions are, like, so ludicrous. They're like, there's a lot of food. Shame if something happened to it. You would get +5 energy, or they'll, like, harm you. Yeah, I mean, that tracks. It's interesting that I can barter for food at a slightly worse rate than the standard rate back at the, I forget what it's called. The, like, marketplace that I've been spending time at. Because isn't it, like, 15 over there? Why is it 16 here? That's, like, so odd. And there's a thief clock. If you get caught stealing, there's no way you'll be able to work in the stacks. Okay. Check out the commune. Not in any great detail. There's another engage action I'm bad at. Or a safe indoor action? That feels like a paradox. All right, because it's safe, like even like a fail is like an advancement. That's not a bad use for like bad dice rolls. We have another good one for those, which is like taking care of Lem's daughter Mina, because like that one can't really go that bad. You're probably right. That camera in lower left is better because we have the thing at the top left, the quest stuff. I don't bring it up that often, but all right. And then there's like a bunch of like locked stuff at the end. This one also locked. Oh no, this one needs mushrooms, which are the thing I have to do at the Greenway. So I can't do that until I've advanced that more. I don't know. I mean, I think the way I've been playing this game is sort of like if the game gives me a compelling reason to like invest my time in something, then I'm like happy to do that. I'm not necessarily convinced that the commune has done that yet. So like I could help Lem with my 4. I could do something like a little risky, which like obviously won't work for me because you've seen me play some amount of this game. I don't know if Lem having his ticket like helps me out. Yeah, like I'm really like leaning towards Bun Bun. It seems like outside of like Bun Bun and the commune, mostly everything is like some degree of risk. And I'm not sure I'm in such a desperate position currently that that's like something I want to do is take more risks. My die rolls have been inconsistent, we'll say. Definitely had some good days. Definitely had some okay days where our actual like probability warped. Can't let down our fungal fiance. Well, we already spent our 6 die trying to improve that track. Yeah, let's go ahead and roll a bad 3. Ooh, we got bonus succeed. Oh, and we maxed out. And oh, that's right. This gives you energy. I forgot about that. I don't need food at all. I can save this money to try and like buy life-saving goo because my status is gonna get worse. Did we find nice we have like a lot of work to do before we actually get mushrooms. I think that was like a 6 o'clock. We got like 2 progress on it. All right, I guess the day is over. We are like about to get hunted to death. I know I tried to manifest Ice Bunny by putting Bun Bun in the title. Oh, I thought my condition was going to deplete again. So that's kind of good. Well, I feel like this is like a decent roll for today. I kind of still think that I want to spend the 5s doing like engineering work. It put me over halfway to the next advancement on the sidereal horizon, and it would get me some money. I do think it is important to like advance the impression I have is that if I don't invest in the survive drive skill or drive tree or whatever, that like ultimately I will probably not be able to like have an ending of the game where I don't like die. So like I feel like it's probably a good idea to do that. The next step is to buy something that costs $100, which I had before trekking out to the boonies. There's so many endings. You know, so like a while ago, I don't remember who it was. I think multiple people were talking about it in chat. A game called Alpha Protocol. And I hadn't heard of it before then, but like a couple people in chat were like, oh yeah, Alpha Protocol. Like that's really something. And I didn't look too far into it, but then like recently I heard it come up again in the context of like it is a video game known for having so many endings that like its fan base isn't sure how many endings it has. And I'm like, how is that true? Like, how can that possibly be true? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like because money is a concern, the fact that like doing one of my other main tasks and like spending my fives to do good engineering work will also it has like two benefits. I think it makes sense to keep doing that as like relatively uninteresting as it is. But also, if we don't start working towards more stabilizer, then like in a couple days we're gonna start having a really bad time. Because like our condition gets worse every day, and like the worse it gets, the fewer dice we have and the fewer actions we can take to try and get better. So I do think it makes sense to like spend the fives doing the boring thing that I think is smart. So spend a 5, which becomes a 6. Okay. And let's spend a 5 that becomes a 6. Okay, no additional scrap. Statistically not surprising in a micro sense. Do kind of wish that we would beat the odds for some brief period of time to compensate for how bad we've been rolling up till now on that particular important thing. Luckily I can go another day without eating. Now it is worth noting that I think I can advance one of my drives and like potentially I don't, it's unclear how long any of the drives are in particular, but every time you like complete a drive you get like a character upgrade, and those seem quite valuable. So I kind of want to do, because there's a guy who wanted like all the information from like this node of hacking, and also he pays money for that, which is the relevant distinction and definitely makes me want to do it. I've talked myself into it now. So let me spend a 3 dice and extract data, and now we make the angry donut closer to hunting us. Got a data. I have some other object. Oh, I think that's the key for the thing I'm not supposed to do because of the glitch. Yeah, the hunter is making progress toward finding me. But let's go to... shouldn't I be able to talk to what's-his-face? Feng? Did I scare Feng? No, this one's the key. This is... Wait, what? What is this? A stream of passcodes able to unlock the station's aging maglocks. The heck do I do with that? Playing operator, you have very different options than this. That's not surprising. It seems like early on it shouldn't diverge that much, but like this game seems to strongly encourage you to like lean into whatever thing you do. Like it doesn't particularly encourage you to do like a balanced approach. So like when you find like one thing that your character is good at, like you tend to want to lean into it. So yeah, I found like a cool item that sounds good. I don't know what to do with it. It's not scrap, so I can't do the thing I want over here. Maybe today... I could try to do more biosphere. It obviously wouldn't be guaranteed to do well, and then I could take... I mean, I'd probably go over here and do the one with the... I don't know. It's so tempting to, like, hope for a positive result on this and, like, complete this in one day, but if you fail, then it's obviously not good. Actually, though, now that I'm taking a closer look at this, like, because I have the predictive reasoning, it might actually make more sense to, like, wait for another 6. Because, like, if I don't do that, then I, like, either have to get a critical walking the greenway, which is dangerous if you don't have a 6, or I'd have to do at least 2 map the pathways in order to hit like 3 progress on the going green clock, which I'm assuming gives me access to mushrooms. So like it actually kind of makes more sense to like only spend 1 action here, which then I think brings us back to a similar spot to yesterday, where we either help Lem or do the commune. How far along are we with Lem? There's still, like, kind of a decent number of things left to do for him to get his golden ticket, right? 3's not, like, a huge number. So if you fail, I think you get 1 energy. If you succeed, you get 2. Since you only lose 2 energy a day, I think in like a resource management sense, it makes more sense to try and do the commune, I guess. I'll do the one that doesn't... I guess it doesn't really matter which one I do, since it's a safe task, and 3 and 4 dice are the same. But I still kind of feel better not getting a -1 to my die roll. It's just sort of a psychological thing. ++, good. Okay, great. I've discovered a new drive. What? Wait. What? What? I don't have... Well, I know I don't have any, but why did it say that I... Oh, okay. I thought because it was, like, yellow that, like, something had changed there. Because it was, like, giving me a drive update. The Life of Commune meets the needs of its members in exchange for work. Could you find a home here? No, I'm going to go to space. I don't need that. I'm going to go to space. I mean, I know we're in space, but I'm going to Space Plus. There are a lot of things about this game that are intuitive. It does have a couple rough edges. I know that, like, a sequel to this just came out, and it may already have addressed those, but, like, there have been a non-zero number of times that the interface has, like, genuinely confounded me for some amount of time. Alright, I guess it's time to go to bed and get, like, hunted to death or whatever. Not super excited for tomorrow. A not wholly unfamiliar sensation. I'm gonna say that the 2 1s are not, like, extremely good rolls. But luckily I have some safe things to do. Hold it there, sleeper! Comes a voice from behind you. Don't you run. not sure I like these as my only two options. I understand that stay still could be interpreted as simply the opposite of running, but I don't know, it somehow feels excessively passive. Well, I feel like this cynical man can be reasoned with. Also, am I any good at reasoning with people? Honestly, hard to tell. I know I'm good at engineering. Where's my predictive reasoning for this? I'll hear him out and get killed, it's fine. Good, good. A hand pats your coat down. You know your master's voice. Ethan spins you around like a record baby, right round, round, round. He's wearing a wide smirk and a slick jacket, and you immediately know he's terrible news. You got all the way out here and stayed put. He laughs a cruel laugh. That a sleeper thing? You're my first. Barely hear him. You've noticed the handgun he has leveled at your chest, and it's hard to take your eyes off it. He reaches down with the other hand and slips some kind of ring out from a belt loop without taking his eyes off you. Making it to the eye, though. That's pretty good. This place isn't so bad. Bars, markets, people. I pull most of my contracts out of asteroid caves or off of godforsaken moons. He splits the ring into two perfect circles. It's hard to hit civilization when there's so much space to pass through. What's your deal? Just a freelancer on a contract, Pilgrim. He reaches over to slide the rings around your wrists. Go easy. Nah. You see a chance the moment his eyes leave you to watch the rings. You spin, knocking him away and sprinting down the corridor. Then the shot rings out, echoing off the metal so loud it hurts your ears. A bullet hole smokes in the wall beside your head. You freeze and Ethan closes the gap. This is a very boring routine, trust me. I've seen it all before. He slips the rings over your trembling wrists. Ethan nudges you to start walking. To the ship and home, he whistles. Going easy. You stumble down the corridor, your hands behind you, your mind racing. We can work this out. Can we? Don't see much in the way of assets in your possession. Ethan yawns and continues to nudge you down the corridor. Shame to come all the way out here just to head back to S&ARP right away. That tracker of yours makes this too quick. Was hoping you'd put up a bit more of a chase, you know, maybe a run and battle through Bright Market maybe, or a holdout in Low End. There's a few establishments I would have enjoyed checking out while I asked around. Walk on in silence a little longer, desperately trying to think of a way to escape. That S&R tracker will be the death of you. I have an idea, Ethan interrupts your thoughts. How about on the way back to the ship we stop for a drink? I'm buying. He laughs at his own joke. It's reasonably hard to imagine me saying something that will make the situation much worse than it is. The fact that when trying to make a break for it, he kind of shoots at you anyway, I feel like that might just be what happened if you try to run in the first place. So I'm really not sure that we've had much impact on this, to be honest. How's about stamp collecting? This better not be one of those where you do a dramatic pause then try to jump me. Pretty tired of that. Although, I got myself thinking, what's the rush here? Here we are on one of the most lawless joints in the surrogate systems, and we're heading for the exit. He pauses, and you trudge on in silence. Okay, here's the idea. You and me make a little agreement, Pilgrim. Here's the terms. You run or leave or try to abandon the eye, I shoot you. You plot or scheme or try to kill me, I shoot you. But You come meet me at an establishment of my choice every few cycles and pay my tab, and I don't shoot you. You don't pay my tab. He rattles his handgun. You get the idea. I understand. Okay then, sounds to me like a deal. He stretches. You know, I really thought I was gonna have to kill you, but this is so much better. He clicks something at his belt and the rings release from your wrists. I'm gonna see if I can find my old stool at the compressor club. Come see me there. He aims the handgun at you, squinting down the sight. Let me just remind you, that body of yours is one big tracker, so don't even think about leaving the eye, pilgrim. Oh no. Ethan turns and strides off down the corridor, slipping his handgun away. The mix of relief and terror you feel is overwhelming. What are you gonna do? New drive discovered. Pay Ethan's tab. Drive feels like a generous description of that. Maybe if you manage to pay his tab, Ethan will leave you alone. Wishful thinking, perhaps, but what else can you do? The music's doing something interesting, isn't it? Ethan's tab. You see Ethan at a distance shouting from the bar for more drinks. This bill isn't gonna be small, is it? Well, I think it's really important to try and get the suppressor or whatever pretty soon. Like, I definitely think that spending the 5 to make money is good. I really don't know what to do after that, though. I mean, one of these ones is probably well spent to babysit Mina. Because I think I'll get at least 1 energy. Maybe I do that twice? Because if I do that twice, then I don't have to eat today, which means that I can avoid spending money on food for another day. I'm not sure what to do with the 3, though. I mean, the negative, because it's safe, the negative is just like, fine, right? Let's find out together with my extremely sad roll. Negative outcome. Oh, you don't get energy that way. I mean, I really succeed. Hang on. Didn't I get 1 energy one time and 2 energy another? I guess 1 energy is a regular success, and that was negative, which is no energy. So the only way... What is going on with Dragos? Yard clearance. History and other ship is salvage. Break it down, move it on. So you don't get money for this. You could get money for this, but it's dangerous. But it's an engineer role. God, it'd be so good if I would get like some quantity of scrap, man. Really wish that I could be like working on making ship mine cores and stuff. Also, really not sure what that thing is that I, like, hacked the other day. It sounds like it's important, but I can't do anything with it. So if I spent my 3 here, I would have like a 75% chance of making money or something. But I would then have some risk of like injury, which would be extremely bad. But like the only way to avoid like I really need more money. Gonna do it. Okay. Neutral outcome. If I deplete to 0 energy, that doesn't do extra condition damage, right? It would only be if I fell below 0 energy that would be an issue. Because assuming that's true, I could try to flip a coin here and see if I can get 1 energy. You would take 1 condition sensitivity. No, I'm saying if I got 1 more energy and then I lost 2 energy, I would be at 0 energy. That would not do extra condition damage, correct? I understand that now I do not have 2 energy to lose. So I'm thinking I can flip a coin with babysitting Mina to see if I get an energy and don't have to spend money on food today. Okay, obviously the ones aren't very good for stuff. Is there an actual real explanation for why this is like 1 cryo cheaper than on the other side of the station? That makes no sense to me. We're gonna have a bad space life. So, like, serious question though. If there wasn't a game glitch and I was able to focus on what I would want to do, which was like disabling that tracker, would it be possible to do that before the dude shows up? So we're only gonna get 3 dice tomorrow. It's mechanically impossible. That's all well and good, even if that's true. But I feel like instead of the game breaking that, wow, these rolls aren't very good either. It starts a new clock. That's brutal. That isn't cool. It'd be really nice if I could, like, finish any drive ever. One of the reasons why I want to, like, focus on survive is to see if that... I seriously doubt buying another vial of stabilizer just, like, does what I want. It would have been nice to win either of those coin flips yesterday, or to have, like, any measurable quantity of scrap. So she's been trying to complete everything in Binding of Isaac with a character who dies in 1 hit. Had an amazing run, died by walking into a blood donation machine while speeding back the way you came through the dungeon. Yeah, that's rough. That's, you hate to see that sort of thing. In my spare time, I've been doing a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Red again. I was doing a few of those last year, Hadn't done one in a while. Had a really extremely bad time in Mount Moon. Have recovered pretty significantly. But I walked into what I think must be a really common trap is going into Koga's gym. Koga's like a poison type gym leader. And like Generation 1 has like a relatively limited amount of Pokemon to draw from, particularly when like the gyms are supposed to focus on a certain like elemental type. But like in most cases in most Pokemon games, you can kind of like battle the first trainer in a gym and like see how bad it is. The first trainer in Koga's gym has like the highest level Pokemon you're likely to have seen at that point in the game, and it's a psychic type which basically has no weakness and has the strongest psychic type move to which there's only one resistance, and it's also psychic. So like it's basically like a bus that runs over you, and like nearly wiped most of my team, but luckily I managed to like leer it like 4 times with my not yet Charizard Charmeleon, and then get a fly off with my Fearow before it could do something. Were your health issues caused by dice? The issue is that I had to spend money on food so that I wouldn't take more physical damage, and that wouldn't have been true if I had flipped like a coin successfully in my favor at all yesterday, or if I had gotten additional scrap at several points in the game and would have slightly more money. The issue is that I'm now $7 short of buying the thing that improves my physical condition back to full and gives me more dice rolls and a better chance of like doing good stuff. Like now I'm kind of like a rough spot because my rolls aren't very good for today and I'm a little short of where I want to be, but like because these rolls are bad, it's harder to like force my way back into an okay situation. I just don't seem to have a lot of good options. Like at this point, well, there still would be some benefit to like using my like 2 with Lem. How close is he to like? Well, let's. I guess I can use like mediocre die rolls to like work the farm stacks, because it's safe, and like the worst case scenario is getting $6 US instead of 16. 16 is honestly pretty good. Maybe I do that today because I don't really want to like take structural damage from like mediocre engineering rolls. There doesn't appear to be any like measurable progress to be made here unless you want to try and steal a lot of food, which I think is bad. Should probably save the. Let me Nope. Scrolled slightly too far. Oh, I can gamble, huh? Yeah, gambling with bad dice seems really good. Oh wait, there's an engineering task here I forgot about. In the general low end. Too many residents are always in need of repairs. So like this could get me like social standing that might be useful, but also it could deplete my energy. But it's an engineering roll, so it has a 0% chance of giving me scrap, which is nice. I honestly think I need the money. Don't really. So like the 3s still have like a 25% chance of losing me energy, which is pretty bad. I think I'm better off like Yeah, let's do this, because this will advance Ticket Out and maybe do something good. I don't know if that completes a drive, which would give me an upgrade, which might help with something. But if I win this coin flip, it also means I don't have to buy food today. On the coin flip. Babysit Mina. Mina leads you on a winding tour of the block, chatting to the neighbors and collecting snacks. For a while, you forget about everything else. Okay, we completed the clock. She's asleep, whispers Lem, creeping back out of the unit's tiny bedroom, sliding the door shut as he does. You are perched at a thin bar in the main room, the slate in front of you still glowing with Mina and your drawings from a cycle spent together. There's a ring, the only world Mina has known, with stick figures standing along its edge. The tall one is you. Drink? Asks Lem, producing a worn-looking bottle of Girolle from under the bar. Or Girolle. Isn't that the same name as the mushrooms? Its contents glowing amber in the fluorescent light. I'm into mushroom, I guess. I don't know. Them nods and glugs a few fingers into a couple metal tumblers. Then sits down with you at the bar. Cheers, he offers, and you clink the containers together. You know, we actually have something to celebrate this time around, gives you a sideways look. I made the assembly team on the sidereal. He grins broadly. Clearly he's been desperate to tell you all cycle. Knew it. Lem holds up his drink. You did get there first, friend. I'll give you that. He looks away. Seriously, though, I couldn't have done it without you keeping an eye on my little manie back there. Lem shifts a little on his stool. He looks uncomfortable. How's our girl doing, Sleeper? Haven't seen much of her these past cycles. It's tough. Is he gonna be upset if I say she misses her father, or is she gonna appreciate the fact that she misses him? Lem looks away. Yeah. He says to no one in particular. The silence stretches out as Lem takes a drink, his eyes fixed on the bedroom door. She's great. It's good, though. It's fine. Can't take all the credit for Mina. She isn't actually mine. He gazes into the middle distance. Pulled her off a refugee shuttle out of one of Ember's moons. The colony was falling apart for decades after Solheim collapsed, surviving on next to nothing. Eventually, some of the residents tried to make for the eye on these decrepit old shuttles. He sloshes the drink in his tumbler. They had no idea what they were doing. The one Mina was on decompressed halfway there. Everyone was spaced. The only reason she made it is someone sealed her in a weapon locker. She was ice cold when I reached her purple lips. Once I picked her up, I wouldn't let go. Medics treated her with me still clinging to her. Still not sure why. He reaches over and refills his cup. We weren't exactly anybody's heroes, you understand. Private military hired by Conway to protect their claims in the collapse, but once I got Mina, that was it. I quit. Got us dumped here. You saved her. Gonna sound like an idiot now, but she saved me. It's the truth of it. Looks around the decaying unit, its stained plastic plating and flickering lights. Me? I brought her to this. She was tiny, too small to know what she lost, but can't stop thinking about it. Rubs his eyes with tiredness. What if our number doesn't come up in the draw, Sleeper? What then? Sidereal will sail off without a thought, leaving us here. What kind of life is that for her? You'll make it. Sorry, I know you don't have it any better. Looks at his cup and pushes it down the bar. This is a celebration, right? Both of us on the same team now. Both of us in with a chance. Exactly. Imagine all three of us riding into the sidereal horizon out of here to a new world. Looks into his glass for a moment. I think I drank this too fast. Lem stands and starts to clear the glasses into the auto wash. I need some sleep, friend. See you, space cowboy. All right, then. Catches your shoulder as you turn to leave. Thank you, Sleeper. I mean it. From both of us. Pass your shoulder and you slip out into the dark of the walkway with thoughts of little Mina in your mind. Good robot. Good bot. Drive complete. But we only have one upgrade point, which we could put into Intuit, right? God, the more I played this game, the more insulting self-repair sounds. Like, I want it to be good, but it would require me to obtain scrap. Let me sit on that point for a while. I still haven't really... Like, engineering is the only skill I've really paid attention to, because it's the only one I have, like, a relevant bonus in, other than the ones that will obviously kill me. So that's endure, engage. Really glad I took something that uses engage as a dump stat, because I think it's garbage. So if I update Intuit, mapping the pathways is easier, but I'm still not clear on how useful that is, and I really need money short term. Neither of those are relevant. These are the doldrums. Nothing happens here without mushrooms. I think that one is the... Oh, hey, here's some fun facts I learned today. For one, I guess it's the spring Steam sale. Basically all of the existing Watch It Eye games are on sale. And I think I'm going to be buying several of them because... the ones I haven't played, I'm probably going to play on stream at some point. The sales are pretty good. Two, Heavy Rain is on sale for $2 on Steam. It's like giving money away. You're not going to have a better time than playing Heavy Rain, unless you don't have joy in your heart. I saw Undertale was on sale. I didn't look at what the discount was. Citizen Sleeper and 2 is also on sale in a bundle. That would have been good to know like 3 days ago. But 5% off the second one's not bad. But I continue to think I don't necessarily want to run this on my PC. So that's fine. Right, I'm checking for things that are Intuit. Wouldn't be terrible to be able to check the rotunda without as much risk. Don't really know what exactly you get here. Until it's 90% off. That's pretty good. These aren't real tasks. And like, I mean, it's just engineering over here. Oh wait, what's in low end? Is any of this into it? One of them's engineering. Ooh. If I intuit, I could get better at gambling, which would be another way to potentially help my bad econ. And it's also just like so hard to like raise another skill. I don't know. I think I'm gonna reserve spending the point until I actually need to do a relevant Intuit task, but I think at least for the moment I'm leaning towards Intuit, or if I really don't feel like I need it for a minute, then maybe self-repair? I don't know. It seems really likely I would spend it on Intuit. And then from there have to figure out what the next thing I'd want to do would be. Having that karmic die roll would be good on some of these like really mediocre days. All right, so I need to go back to like the Greenway kitchen or whatever. Farm stacks. It's a safe indoor. So it seems like because it's safe, the worst case scenario is make not quite enough money to buy a survive potion. Okay, we did good. So because this doesn't advance anything, it's probably a good idea not to do this unless I have no other thing that I want to spend dice on. Like, this is a good outlet for spending, like, bad die rolls. Do I have something I'd want to spend 3 on? I mean, one thing I could do is spend that point improving my intuition and then try to gamble with the last dice. I guess it wouldn't really change the result because it would still be in the 3 to 4 range. But, like, I can't spend the 3 die. Ooh, not you. Supposedly, the bad outcome is minus $3, which still wouldn't put me below the threshold of buying the health goo. Not particularly keen on doing block maintenance right now. Doesn't really improve the odds. I think this is worth the gamble. The literal gamble. Lost 3 money. That's fine. At least I still got something out of it, and I had a chance at making more money. I'm gonna buy the thing. Got a stabilizer, bro. And I also have some other item. A unit 207F passkey. I'm gonna guess when I back out of this, I'm gonna get some context for what that is. As you quickly leave the surgery, eager to be away from Toshiro's glare, you notice something wrapped around the stabilizer vial clutched tightly in your hand. You open your hand and a thin film marked with holes and sigils unrolls from around the vial. At one end, it has a hard metal strip, a handle. Inspect the film. You hold the cloudy film up to the light. It is perforated with an ornate pattern of holes. You can make out a word among the markings. Pass key. Is this an entry key for somewhere? Inspect the handle. The metal handle is worn and pitted, but you can see a set of numbers imprinted into it. 207F, and then crudely scratched into the handle, at some later date, low end. For a moment you consider going back to the surgery to return the key, and then quickly think better of it. Did Sabine want you to have this? Or is Toshiro passing on a message? Time to head to the low end to find out. Ooh. Did that... I have 2 points! I thought I was gonna have to do more to get that. Okay. That's promising. Makes it a little trickier to know what to do with the upgrade points, though, because it feels closer to... I mean, I just don't have any scrap. I just don't have any scrap. Yeah, I think I haven't changed. Like, if I get a 3rd point, I think I'm really likely to up my intuit. I think until that happens, I'm good. Oh, hang on. Oh. Thought I might have to, like, unlock something at the low end for this to work. Unlock apartment. You find the entrance to the apartment. Its passkey symbol is obscured beneath layers of graffiti. Who lives here? Start action. -1 passkey, apartment unlocked. Do I live here now? As you gently push open the door, the automatic lights flicker on inside the apartment. Why does this rundown low-end apartment have lights that turn on automatically, and so many of the locations that we've, like, met people with where they do work, they're, like, in pitch blackness? The lights reveal yellowing plastic panels, the curved shape of wall-mounted utility units, and the detritus of routine life arranged on every surface. You step inside, clicking the door shut behind. The amber light of the aging fixtures glaze everything with pale orange. The work surfaces hold a variety of objects, indistinct in the dull lighting. A pale blue light drifts in from the doorway at the end of the room. Inspect surfaces. Smudges through the thin layer of dust suggest a recent, rare, and hurried visit. They trace a path to the water dispenser, the auto wash, and then a cabinet still half open. I really hope the auto wash doesn't have a bunch of cockroaches in it. On the shelf sits an empty pill case. Go to the doorway. You cross the cramped utility room with its auto wash dispenser's water closet towards the doorway. I feel like there should be another word in that chain of whatever. Through the doorway is a dark, warm room lit only by the faint glow of a terminal screen. Again, the lighting in this world is weirdly inconsistent. Inspect the room. A bunk is tucked into the wall. The blanket's ruffled. A wall desk glitters with rows of vials and containers. A briefcase lab sits open, loaded with rows of reagents and compounds you do not recognize. In comparison, this room is clean, ordered, and controlled. Approach the terminal. As you approach, there is a crackle from somewhere in the dark. Sleeper. Sabine's voice shakily echoes through the apartment. Welcome to my home. I'm sorry I can't be there. I have had to make alternate arrangements. You hear rattling noises and static. I was able to record this message, but I don't dare show my face. Something is happening with Yatagan. I no longer trust them. Their voice becomes distant, slipping behind the background noise. I have something to ask of you. I want you to get me out. Yatagan were supposed to hide me, to protect me. After everything happened, I was desperate. And then, after that, I was too tired to care. A noise like waves passes over the recording. But I'm done with them now. I want out. Screw the debt. Screw the rules. I don't have any money. But I need insurance. Something I can hold against them. Not like the American kind where you can't quit your job because you're beholden to your job in order to have health insurance to live. I have my suspicions, but I can't be sure. I need information, and as you know, you need me. A pause. Something clicking in the dark. This isn't a threat. You have to understand my position here. I know sleepers. I have been here before. I can help you, but not with Yatagan's noose around my neck. Get me data. Get me information. Get me something I can use against the Yatagan. Then I can get out and you can get what you need. Please. Waves of static cut into Sabine's voice. Bring it here to my terminal. I'll get to it when I can. You look around the tiny room and try to imagine Sabine living here, working at the desk, sleeping in the bunk, blinking into the terminal in the dark. The recording cuts to static, filling the room with its white hiss, then silence. Access the terminal? Sit in front of the humming terminal and hit a few keys. Sabine has left an access port open, but the rest is encrypted, locked away behind passcodes. It seems Sabine might not trust you as much as they want you to think. Who does Sabine need to hide from? And what debt do they owe Yatagan? Try to assemble the pieces, but too many are missing. The only thing you know is that without stabilizer, your body will die. You glance at the briefcase lab on the desk, its glassware glinting in the dark. You turn away and leave, the door clunking shut behind you. Back in the corridor, you notice the scrawled graffiti of a blade on the opposite wall. Yatagan. You feel yourself being drawn into something you don't quite understand. These trackers are not very helpful. The more I use them, the more I am disappointed by them. So... okay. Do I just have to hack, like, all the Yatagan agents? Okay, that's the sort of thing I would expect. They need data, get them commander data. Oh, that'd be very helpful. That would get a lot done. Okay, so now seems like a good time to start spending ones. Are you also a one? Yeah, now I have, like, a pretty good use for ones. Is to, like, hack these guys. Then get some don't die juice. I think... it's a little tough. The condition bar is a little tricky to read. So if I don't take the stuff today, I'll get 3 dice tomorrow. If I don't take it again the next day, do I get 2 dice or 3 dice? I was kind of hoping I was going to get a new apartment. Let's go to bed. Well... You lose 1 when the last condition degrades. Okay. Okay. I think I should wait at least 1 more day before using the goo, because it's very hard to obtain. I am, however, going to use the restroom. I'm going to leave you with this view of this room so you can appreciate the big and small Pokemon. And I will be back in a moment. Good. I hope we all appreciated the Pokemon. Will be Mother's Day soon in the UK, so big and small Pokemon feel seasonal. What day is Mother's Day in the UK this year? I assume it also shifts like it does in the US, but I genuinely don't know that. Let's go back to the thing. You have a good feeling about Cardlettle hiding an even littler Squirtle? It's hard to imagine. So it doesn't seem like I need to use my health goo today, so I think I'm definitely going to wait on that, as much as I hate having 3 dice. Oh, okay. Good to know that you inject the stabilizer from home. Let's go to bed. Ooh, those rolls, though. Look at those rolls! This your Mother's Day is on March 30th. Oh, that is coming up. Oh, hey, look who's back. So I can spend money I don't have to get scrap that I want. I can exchange money for goods and services. G Express, Noodle Factory and Delivery? Pizza rolls? Pizza rolls are like 10 for $1. What a weird new ad campaign that exists. What happened here? Why is there a noodle place that like didn't exist before? Did I do something to affect this? Minji has a kelp stack in the basement, and he makes noodles from seaweed. He doesn't pay much, but he'll feed anyone who does a shift. That's a good option. Or you can do delivery, which is risky to a weird degree. It has to do with the apartment? That feels weird. Yeah, delivery feels like not a great option. I think the best thing for me to do... Not the farm stacks, the greenway. I want to do the dangerous thing. Automatically succeed and open up the green way. Okay. Let's leave the... Oh, we got energy too. That's fun. Leave this place? Mushroom groves. There's multiple mushroom groves? Forage for fungus. You need to have Intuit. Oh. Well, that seems like a good reason to upgrade Intuit. Oh, even though I didn't make much progress when I gambled, it still opened up options. That makes more sense. I would have expected that to only happen after I filled out the clock, so I didn't think about that. Grove spores? What the heck are grove spores? Well, the grove mushrooms are dangerously inconsistent. What? Spores provide a chance to gather or study species in an untouched form. What is going on over there? Well, I'm really glad that we started down the Intuit track because now we can commit ourselves to our mushroom husband. I'm not sure that's... I would get plus Girolle caps, but how many? Sorry, Girolle caps? For some reason, that feels really unnatural. I have a new drive to grow mushrooms? The aviary would be a perfect place to grow mushrooms with some work. Wait a minute. Is that also a place I can get these mushrooms? No. I can get sunlit refuge as a clock. Cut away the choking vines, stop the rot, and this place could be turned into a garden of sorts. Once a corporate garden for impressing guests with gene-tweaked birds. Why does that sound extra ominous? Now this chamber is a mess of overgrowth. You could change that. Okay, the game has done a good job of providing what feels like a balanced set of options in a way I think would be hard to manage. But I feel like I generally have like some safe options that don't feel completely pointless, and definitely some risky options that feel like they're definitely useful but are obviously risky. And like I wouldn't necessarily expect the game to be able to maintain that with consistency, not knowing the path that the player is going to take. And maybe I'm just getting lucky. I don't know. I got 2 5s. 2 5s. I mean, I think it makes sense to invest an upgrade point into it. Because if I use the Intuit point to be able to harvest mushrooms, I will then like get a relatively immediate refund on that point, but also I will have a permanent +1 to a new skill. So I think I would like to upgrade to +1. Pink is good? I think pink is good. Okay, great. So now I have 1 point in reserve, and now I have +1 on Intuit. So it is dangerous, but I'm getting a +1 on this, which will give me how many Girolle caps? Actually, before I commit to this, I should check how close are we to having to pay that guy's tab? We don't have very much money. We have $6. We are like halfway there. That's not great. I feel like we need to get out ahead of that. So I think we should probably try to earn money by advancing our engineering stuff. And maybe we'll get that like none % chance of some scrap that would also help. Oh my god, we got a scrap. No whammies. Okay, no additional scrap, but we're pretty close to completing whatever this clock is, which seems good. Not really sure if there's ever a point where you're like guaranteed a ticket on the ship. Yeah, one entire scrap. It's our third one. I'll remind you that I'm pretty sure we should still be somewhere between like 5 and 6 based on like a probability standpoint. But we've gotten 3. But like we can sell this. Now here's the next trick. Is it beneficial to spend 20 cryo to try and get another scrap and unlock that tree? I think it's maybe. I think the answer is a resounding maybe, but I'm really inclined to find out. Okay, we did get scrap and not the other thing, which would have been awkward, but still fine because it sells for more. Okay, sell scrap. Okay. We are a trusted trader. Oh. Ort fabricator. Ship mines cannot be built from scratch, but if you have enough salvaged fragments, they can be reassembled with a fabricator. Oh. I was thinking that I would be making ship mined fragments as a thing to sell. But if I get ship mined fragments, I can turn them into a fully functional ship mine. Which, and this is important, I have no idea what that does. But, we're closer to finishing a drive that we'll never finish. So that's a result. And we have more information, which is fine. I'm gonna go to bed and hope for... It is somewhat effective. Okay. So we're currently at starving, which is obviously not ideal. But we have a stabilizer, which we... Wait, how much... If I'm not starving... If I have enough energy by the end of the day, do I only use one condition? I know I should know this by now. We didn't roll any ones to help with the speed. That can't be right. If I have... Again, I'm stipulating that if I have enough energy, that I don't take extra damage, then it will be 1. Okay. For some reason, I thought that was also decreasing by 2. So then... I prioritize making money and getting food, then I can wait one more day before going below 3 dice. But maybe I just want the dice earlier. It might... Now, hang on. Okay, this is up tomorrow. I should probably have more dice by tomorrow in case I need, like, a lot of money. I think that is probably correct. So then what does that leave as my priority for today? I kind of want to spend my 4 die at the mushroom farm. But then I don't know what to do with this 2 and 3 that aren't great. This one. Yeah, I don't really want to dip super low on this despite my +1. So if I do this, then I have no chance at critical failure. Just mushrooms are very good mushrooms. Oh, that gave me energy. But it didn't give me caps. So I only get caps on a critical success? That's not awesome. But it does solve a problem for the day. I don't really know what to do with spores. Also really not sure how to evaluate the usefulness of, like, the aviary. Sorry, what's in the wastes? Oh, okay. Something I'm not doing. Man, you really kind of got to commit a lot if you want to get 3 Girolle caps, huh? I kind of was hoping that, like, a regular success would be 1, and you might get, like, 2 off of a critical. But it seems like you get none off of anything short of a critical success there, which is pretty rough. Oh, hey, wait a minute. There is stuff over here, huh? There's one thing over here, huh? I don't have that thing. I still have this encrypted key, and I don't know what it does, but I got it. It's mine. Fortunately, I didn't get a bad enough roll to, like, work on these Yatagon agents. Not really sure what Dragos is gonna do when I, like, haven't helped him in, like, a full in-game week, but pretty sure we're gonna find out. I feel like I need money. What was the... One of these relatively new places had, like, a good way to make money. I mean, I could try to gamble. I have increased intuition, but I might just lose money. Especially with these, like, not great rolls. Like, base rolls. It is kind of weird that you roll dice twice. They kind of compound. I guess even the worst roll here is still okay, because it's an intuit action. Poor Dragos. Look, you can't hug every cat. It's well documented. I think I'm just gonna try and make a bunch of money, which I won't really succeed at. Yeah, that wasn't very good. And then... Awesome. I felt it coming that I was gonna fail both of those rolls, even though the second one should have had like a pretty good chance. I think because I don't know how bad tomorrow is gonna be, that I should have maxed out dice. So I'm gonna use my health potion. I kind of want to wait another day, but I don't think that's the right thing to do. And then just end the day, because my dice were not very good. Okay. What's worse is they weren't even terrible. If I had like 2-1 dice... Oh my god, look at these dice. I want you to look at my dice. Stop what you're doing and look at my dice. It's a good day to be starving, don't you think? I'm really glad that I made an effort to have the maximum number of dice to roll. Let's toggle tracking on that real quick. Yeah, just check on it, sure. 58. Well, to be honest, I did expect worse than 58. On the other hand, time to spend any upgrade points you got. I have 1. It's not gonna do anything. If I could finish another drive today, then I could upgrade to instant karma and reroll my many dice. I don't think I can do that, especially with a bunch of really bad dice. And again, if 2 of these were 1s, that would actually be pretty good. Well, it would certainly be better than 4 2s. So the game really knows what it's doing in grinding my gears here. I'm not convinced that I'm going to build a ship mine. Why would more 1s be better? Because one of my drives is to like help the doctor who's been like keeping me from dying by like basically like gathering information about the gang she's indebted to. And in order to complete the next stage of that, I need to commit 2 1s. So if I got like 2 1s and 3 2s, it would be dramatically better than 4 2s and a 1. I mean, I don't know how much good that'll do, but at least it would advance a drive and maybe even hit a checkpoint that would get me another skill point to do something good. As it stands, 4 2s is very bad. I guess I should be grateful it's not 4 2s and a 3. I do actually think that would be worse in my current situation. But the 4 2s is, it's really bad. Like, I can definitely pay the tab. And these rolls are probably sufficient to get food for the day. But the 3 would be worse than the 1. The 1 at least makes progress towards that drive. A 3 would just be like a mediocre roll that could probably still, like, fail the way I've been attempting these tasks recently. Some gang enforcer implants are chirping out comm signals, or some gang enforcers... Oh no, they're both the same. I'm gonna start by targeting the one that's kind of out in the crowd. And I must commit a 1 to this purpose. Bypass. Extract. Neutral outcome. I got a data. These hacking tasks don't really go the way I expect them to, basically, ever. Now, there is... I think I'm just supposed to, even though, like, the only place I know to, like, slot that in is there, I think the idea is that, like, I can now... Yeah, it's, like, the same thing. But she needs 3? But there aren't even, like, 3 guys to hack. Well, have one of these, I suppose. I don't know that that did anything. It appears to have not did anything. So now I have 4 2s. That's my entire allotment of activities for the day. Ugh, and this ship is leaving too, huh? I really wish I had, like, $56 more. 4 2s of cakes. Yes, 4 2s of cakes, and that's terrible. Because they're not good for anything. I wish I knew how much a successful gamble did at the Gamble Plaza. Which is this one? The low end? I mean, based on the way this is framed, I assume that I would only get money on a critical success, which is not, this is important, not very likely. It's a 25% chance. I can't typically win a coin flip. No, we're fine. Like, I mean, I certainly wish my die rolls were better, but, like, I don't really need actual advice on how not to die. I mean, I'm probably going to die. It's just a question of when. I mean, also, I assume that this game does not really end with you living happily ever after. Let's be real about that. It is annoying to be $6 short and still having to sort of commit to this. Oh no, hang on. I have 2 cycles to pay the tab. That's relevant. It's not like super relevant, but it's relevant. Because waiting 1 day means it might be better to invest in buying scrap from the freighter. It, like, puts me in, like, an even more dire situation potentially for tomorrow. But like, I'm not gonna be able to buy these, and, like, there's a chance that I can get ship mine cores that I need for whatever. I don't know why. I don't know if it's, like, part of, like, rebuilding the ship that, like, we need to have, like, a ship mine core, and if I haven't fabricated one, we're in trouble. Like, that sounds plausible. So if I work at the kitchen or whatever, over on the far side of the station, I have a chance of getting $6 or $16. My dice rolls are not sufficiently good that most other monetary options are very good. Which is, again, why I kind of want to, like, press my luck for tomorrow. It's a big gamble. Alright, buying some scrap. Got a regular scrap. Not great. Buying some scrap. Got a regular scrap. Oh well. So now I got some scrap. I can continue to sell these for probably still like 12 or whatever. I can also try to gamble playing the exchange here. The benefit of that is that... Well, no, I guess I have a +1 Intuit score for both that and the Tavla or whatever. But the Tavla also has the benefit of advancing, like, the low-ender reputation, which might do something good. I won 3 cryo. That's a regular positive outcome. That's not very good. But see, now we've learned that. It also suggests to me that, like, an extremely good success would probably still not be, like, very good. So I'm gonna go work in the kitchen for the rest of my day. And then go to bed, hope for some actual dice rolls a human could use. Although I do still need to eat, or I'm going to have a very bad time. So that means that I have to... Do I get like a bunch of energy at like low risk from like helping Noodle Man? Yeah, I think we're doing this. This is not great. I like how all the noodle-related tasks are endurance. Oh, hey, I got a small quantity of money. I got more money than I did by gambling. Alright, 2 energy is enough for the day, so I'm gonna go do the thing that has a nominal chance of getting me more money. And actually, a 100% chance, I think, of getting more money, but like a nominal chance of more money. Even more money. I didn't even know you could get 11 cryo, but that's better than 6. I guess that's the neutral? Well, that's to be expected. Well, I've got 2 scrap. Overall, we're not significantly worse off than we were at the start of the day. But it really can't be helped that I have the most cursed dice rolls on a pretty critical day. So let's hope for a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. That's definitely better. That's considerably better than yesterday. 66541. That's like a whole lot better. I'm gonna start by spending this 1 to hack this man. I'm gonna extract his man data. And that gave me just like another regular Yatagan data. Which is fine and good. Oh, did we generate a new guy? Hey, a new man just dropped. He'll require another 1. That's good news, though. I wasn't sure if I was, like, required to get, like, a critical hit on one of them to get, like, more than 1 Yakuza data or whatever. Alright, have one of these. Alright, the next thing to do is to go to a sidereal work site and spend a 5 with my engineering bonus to critically hit and advance the plot wheel. Camaraderie, care, focus, progress. Shifts like this give you energy. Oh, do they? No, they didn't. Especially when you look back at the sidereal horizon growing impossibly. Cool. Now we leave. Something is happening. Your crew slowly filters out of the shipyard locker room, the bubbling chatter reducing with each group that leaves. There is excitement in the air. Havenage just made an announcement. The assembly teams are done. Sat on the locker room bench, you can feel the sidereal out there, its hulking mass now intimately familiar to you. Over the past cycles, you have watched it grow, be assembled. You have walked through its veins and welded its bones. Bring me the eyes. Now it's ready for the final stage. It will go into testing now, then enter a final process of sealing and resealing, checking and rechecking before it is deemed suitable for its generational trip. But for now, your work is done. You can't help but feel prude. The cough interrupts your thoughts. It's Lem, changing out of his work gear. Mina, nowhere to be seen. He smiles. She'll be ready soon. Where's Mina? You two are fast friends, huh? She's being watched at home. Now I'm on the work team, I can afford a bit more help. He corrects himself. Was on the work team, I mean. We're all out of a job now, he quickly adds. Not that I'm complaining. Lem comes to sit beside you on the bench. She's gotta be in her best shape when she carries you. Mina and me out of here. Oh, the ship. The ship's gotta be in her best shape when she carries you, Mina, and me out of here. Confident? Lem smiles apologetically. Why not? I figure I'm due a lucky turn by now. Rubs his hands nervously. No use in wondering what if until we draw anyway. And there's a few cycles till then. Lem is right, but the odds seem unlikely anyway. How many are working in the shipyards? Hundreds? 1,000? You've certainly seen more faces than you can count pass through. And are the Celis Foundation even going to keep their promise? Out here on the Eye, you get a sense that no one will hold them to it. Why else would they be building the sidereal in a surrogate system? As you think, Lem watches you with a worried look. How's Mina doing? Lem is surprised by the question, but smiles. She's doing well. Misses having you over, actually. Need to get you two together again soon, especially now that I won't see you here either. Lem gazes into space. She's pretty stuck on you, actually. She told me the other cycle that she doesn't want to go unless you can come too. He sighs. You ever been in a thunderstorm, sleeper? You ever seen a Gladiator movie? I don't remember thunderstorms. Lem shoots a worried look for a moment. It's something else, he smiles. The sound, the smell, the rain hammering down, whole sky stretched out and bruised, roaring huge. Place I was born, New Pembroke, a dry old rock in Conway, had 2 seasons. One of them was dry as a bone, dusty and ugly. The other was a long storm, side effect of terraforming, they say. You ever been to a Turkish prison, Timmy? Rain used to rattle off the roofs like bullets, wash the dust away, turn the streets to rivers, and sing us to sleep and wake us in the morning. We'd wait half a year just to see it again. The best day was one where the first drops fell. Some days I wake up swearing I can hear it again. I was thinking, Mina's never seen a storm, never even felt rain. She's grown up here, the ring her only horizon, always in the dark. I want to change that for her. You will. Of course. Almost there. Best get back to the little one anyway. With the shifts done, I reckon she'll be happy to have me home for a few cycles. He shoulders his gear. See you in a few for the draw? Good luck, Commander. Don't need it, he grins. Lem leaves, making you the last person in the cavernous locker room. As you sit, you think about rain, and little hope creeps in. Is it possible? Could the sidereal really take you to a planet with a place, weathered skies, life? You get up quickly before you can think about it anymore. It's too soon to hope. Too dangerous. There's work to be done. Oh, this is just like a cycle clock for the lottery. No, I do think it's good to, like, I don't know how real it is that it will just be like a random chance, but assuming that's the case, it's probably a good idea to get all that work done early so that you know whether you can rely on this or whatever. Speaking of storms, last night was nuts. How bad was it, Demolition? think you said there was a tornado warning, right? What is this? What is this one? No, this is the draw. The draw is in 3 days. And this is, what, the launch of the ship? Yeah, so like 3 days after the drawing, it'll depart. Got bad enough that we woke up Mom to get in the basement. That's pretty bad. I was gonna say sucks to be Dragos. Do we have any reason to suddenly care about this? I can make some more money here. So hang on. If I get a critical hit, I get 2 progress on the clock. But I don't make any money doing it this way. Like, he would be happier to do it this way. But I kind of need money. So, like... maybe I should do some engineering garbage. Because, like, what else am I spending my good dice rolls on? Like... I do want mushroom progress. But I need money. I kind of think the thing to do... I think I want to spend 1/6 over here in Mushroom Country and see exactly what happens when I get plus Girolle caps. And then probably spend both of my other things making engineering money with Dragos. It's a little bit of a hedge, but I do need more money. It would definitely be enough to pay for the tab. Ooh, although... I also need to get, like, food for the day. I still think I'm doing this. Didn't I get energy with like a medium result? Maybe I'll also get energy with a good result. I think I just need to know what happens when I do this. I got 1 Girolle capped. That is what I expected, but is also really disappointing. So then... oh, hang on. I found a new location. There's a Tavler room here. And you can track Haven Age, but I don't have the Haven Age data for that. The Tavler room in Tambor houses... Tambor houses some of the best players in low end. This is serious high-stakes play only. If you fail, you lose 13 crypto. But I could gain 24 crypto by doing a good game, which I have a 6 for. But there's no clock for it. It would just be raw money. Whereas if I hedged with Dragos, and realistically I'd have to be doing the salvage side, and I would definitely get crypto, cryo, and then I wouldn't have any chance of a critical failure with the amount of bonus that I have. Should use the 6 for Mushroom Man. If I do that, I will 2 types of die. I need, like, both to make more money and to earn enough food not to starve. So, like, it's not a good day for that. And I could sell the scrap, but we're at a point where I'm, like, kind of close to being able to, like, use scrap to patch myself up. And I think I'd like to keep that door open. Give you delicious food for free if you give him the mushrooms. Okay, here's the thing, though. In order for that to be true for today, I would need to provide 2 more 6-tier results. So I could spend this 6, but then I would absolutely need this 4 die that I have as my second one to get a critical hit. Or else, I would then need both money and food. I definitely think this is the correct first step, is this. Okay, we got the critical hit there, which is good. Obviously no additional scrap to what I bought the other day. But then it is a little tricky. I mean, I guess... No. I should spend it with Dragos, right? Because if I spend the 6 here, then that's enough cryo to buy food. And with what I already have, which is a nice amount of cryo, then I can already pay off the tab. So that, I think, is the best way to go about doing it. I really don't think I'm gonna, like, complete the Dragos clock, but, like, at least there's a chance. It's a shame there's not mushroom for error. Oh, mushroom for error. I see. I understand. But if it makes you feel any better, I will spend some of my hard-earned money to buy some fungus. 3 energy. And then... not being shot to death. Delicious. Can't believe you just did that. Ethan's mocking laugh comes from along the bar. You look over to see him leaning across it in a pool of light, empty glasses and spilled drinks glinting around him. Does he live here? It's always dark in the compressor, but this cycle the place is packed. Load of spacers oh. No, that is not dialogue. Load of spacers mixing with the locals. Usually they run. Ethan spins a glass on the bar. Or they spend their savings on some local heavy I have to put down. They don't pay. I'm done. Wrong. Not even close, Pilgrim. Ethan gets to his feet. The glass falls and smashes, but he doesn't seem to notice. You think that's it? 1 round of drinks and we're even? Sleeper, come on. His hand comes to rest on the butt of his handgun, dangling from a chest holster. This feels like a Pokemon choice. I don't know that this matters. Does this guy look like how Arcadius dresses his Pokemon characters? I don't know how to answer that. Spicy mushrooms and not being shot to death? Delicious. I know, there's very few places where you can order that. Maybe he'll tell me more about himself if I ask him unironically what's wrong with him. That can't possibly go wrong, right? Ethan laughs hard and the people around him turn to see what's happening. You think this is on me? I'd think someone in your position might have a better idea how this all works. I'm a freelancer, Sleeper, just like you. We both signed a contract with SNARP, didn't we? The difference is that my word means something. Closes the gap, stumbling a little. What did you think? You could run away from your contract, your debt? You could just steal that natty little body of yours and take it for a joyride? Play human for a cycle or two? You don't understand. It's you, Sleeper, that doesn't understand. Some of us pay our debts, but that's all the harder because of idiots like you. I would like to point out that I did just pay you an agreed upon debt. Though I should thank you, Ethan nods his head heavy, for giving me such an easy job. I'm used to outlaws, you know, real bounties. If I knew catching sad little escapees like you was so easy, I would have changed clients ages ago. Someone shouts from the back of the bar for Ethan to shut up. He holds his finger in that general direction without turning around. I don't know if the implication is that he's about to get himself into trouble. I feel like it's probably not. I don't think I'm in such a dire position that I want to play shoot me or leave. I feel like if I had to do this for another instance, it might be manageable. Like, at the very least, I'm reasonably close to getting onto that ship. Now, he could still hunt me, but, you know... Now that I'm really thinking about it, it could be a problem that I have that ship set up to leave in like 5 days or whatever. Stay silent. Nothing to add? Ethan turns and walks back toward the bar. Good. Lesson learned. Ethan sits heavily back down on his stool and searches through his glasses for something... For one with something left in it. Thing is, Sleeper, I can find you anywhere. It's actually wild that you haven't figured it out. That body isn't yours, and it'll always betray you, no matter what. Finds a glass and downs its contents. So please go. I'll catch up with you whenever I need another. He laughs and taps the bar for a fresh drink. Look at yourself. Give it up, Sleeper. I'm done teaching you for today. He settles his head on the bar and closes his eyes. I'm sick of you. Go find a job. I've actually been working, like, way harder than you are. You turn on your heel and are out. Out of the cloying darkness and the sweat stench of the compressor. You walk hard and fast down the walkway, anger driving your footfalls into the metal of the rim like hammers. I kind of find it really annoying how bad those dialogue options have tended to be. Do I not have... It's weird. I don't seem to have an updated drive for him, but, like, clearly he's still there. Cool. I have 2 upgrade points. Now the question is, what's more important? Self-repair or instant karma? And I think we all know that the answer is instant karma, because I'm not good at consistent probability working correctly. So I'm just gonna commit to instant karma now. And now I can press left stick to reroll my none dice left beef. Okay, so we're good for today. We ate food, we're poor, we're not dead. All in all, pretty good day. And cycle. Definitely need that with your look. Yep. Instant karma will give you worse dice 100% of the time. Yep. Oh, hey, look at that. Look at those. Look at these. What's funny is, like, I can definitely imagine a world where, like, I keep 1 or 2 mediocre die and try to reroll for a 1 to, like, advance the Yatagan thing. Okay, so I can, like, build up some currency that I need and, like, also clear the salvage clock today. Like, that's pretty good. Although, what is the skill associated with the mushrooms? It's like endure or something, isn't it? Oh, it's intuit. Huh. That means I could get mushrooms. But as Demolition pointed out yesterday, I have, like, today to try and help Dragos. And I won't have that ability to make money or try and get free scrap or whatever tomorrow. Whereas I can continue to try working on the mushrooms. But, well, it's a little tricky. Like, I can use things that aren't 5 or 6 and just, like, hope for some medium rolls. Like, if I plugged the... No, hang on. If I plugged a 4... No, 4 is good enough. Let me roll this 4 real quick. Do a good roll. Nah, that's a neutral. That's not great. Alright, I think... See, I feel like this is misleading. My predictive reasoning has the low bar, which in a lot of cases seems to be the worst possible outcome as 16 cryo. But this is a danger test, so I know that there has to be some kind of, like, potentially negative outcome. I assume it's, like, physical harm. Which, in the scheme of things, doesn't change the amount of dice I would get tomorrow. So maybe that's honestly worth the risk. Oh, no, it's fine. We did fine. Okay, so let me plug 5 in here, and that'll definitely get us a critical success and some more money. And like a drive. Maybe a drive? Final pieces of the Winter Light sit in neat piles waiting for the collection shuttle from Havenage. Dragos is... I assume that's an apostrophe S for has, but that is not... I wouldn't apply that here. Dragos has managed to sell the remaining pieces to the shipyards. Yeah, that's definitely a case where I would say he has done it, not Dragos's. He's managed to sell the remaining pieces to the shipyards. A fact that's hard to forget, as he's been telling you about it for the past 2 cycles. And all that remains is for Havenage to come collect. You look around the yard. Boys are everywhere, searching for milkshakes. Transformed from when you first arrived. The mostly repaired drones flit back and forth, no longer buzzing unevenly or lost in dark corners. And the scrap is sectioned, sorted out, and the system that you and Dragos have put into place over the past cycles is paying off. As you look, you notice the glow of pale light from the office by the entrance. That run-down cab of a building, which houses all the records and spare equipment. Dragos must be inside, and you get to your feet and walk over to find out when the shipyard collection crew will be there. It would be rude not to knock. What was I doing for this guy? It's been a minute. Oh, that's right. Sleeper, come in. You swing the door open, and Dragos is sitting at the end of the metal desk. Shipyards told me they'd be here soon. Then they'll hand over the chits and we're all set. He writes something with a stylus on his slate and shuts it off. Of course, we should talk about a bonus. He stands and turns to face you, his face placid. Face. Look, I don't know when the next job is coming in, but this should tide you over for now. He opens his hand to reveal a stack of chits. What's going on here? I said, it's a bonus. Take it. Dragos presses the chits into your hand. I've done well by you, and you've returned the favor. He straightens up and clears his throat, and you realize he's prepared what he's about to say. These chits are for you to take, and do what you will with them. They are from me, and they are the last I'm gonna give you. He pauses. There's no more work for a sleeper in this yard. He folds his arms. I'm sorry, but that's it. You stay in the container as long as you need, but the yard is done with you. He turns away to his terminal. I said good day, sir. No, I feel like that's a completely reasonable exchange. I don't really need clarification on that. I don't want to be, like, incessant to him, so, like, what do you mean? Don't press me, Sleeper. This is for your own good. The glassy apertures on Dragos' headset betray no emotion. You need to stay away, Sleeper. He pauses, considering his words. Trouble is gonna follow you here. Trust me. Do you already know about Ethan? Dragos kicks at the floor, frustrated with himself. I'll not be saying any more, Sleeper. Dragos suddenly grabs you by the shoulder and drags you out of the office into the yard. where all the boys are, searching for milkshakes. He turns you to face a stack of pieces from the Winterlight. Dissected, cut down, totally unrecognizable as a ship. You came through that, Sleeper. That should have been you. Chopped and stacked. His hand trembles on your shoulder. That's what happens here. We cut down broken machines and move them on. Well, I didn't cut you down, but I'm sure as heck moving you on. Moving you on before whoever killed that ship out there comes to kill me. Kill you? Kill both of us, shakes his head. These ships, they didn't get decommissioned. They didn't break down and dry dock. You think they'd come in like that if they did? Someone ended them. That means someone tried to end you, Sleeper. And I'm done waiting for them to turn up. We've had our fun, now it's time. He gives you a little shove, and you put it in your pocket for later. Go on. He turns and walks back to the office. That's it. I said good day, sir. The silence hangs in the air and you leave, with your pockets filled with clinking chits and a strangely hollow feeling in your chest. Oh, drive failed. Okay. I thought that would still be a success of a different kind, but you only succeed if you help him, like, figure out the ship's history or whatever. Did he just old yeller you? I don't... No, he didn't, right? Because well, I don't know. I guess I've never actually seen Old Yeller. I thought he didn't get away in the... But I guess that's, like, not what you're supposed... I don't know. I've never seen it. I also didn't know you could, like, fail to drive through anything other than inaction. But honestly, like, given our circumstances, I think that was the correct way for me to handle those resources. I had no way of knowing if my dice rolls would be good enough to, like, complete a task today. And also I needed the money, and the other path didn't give that. So I assume something pretty cool happens if you do the other one. But, like, I just really needed the money. So this is gone and will be back later to disappoint me. I really gotta get my hands on some, like, ship core fragment core ship. So now what do I do with this 3, I guess, is the question. I mean, 3 is a very average roll. It's probably worth, like, re-rolling that. But, like, let's do... definitely gonna spend the 6. And I think I'm gonna spend it on mushrooms. It might not be the best thing, but I do really want to do this. Okay, I have another cap, and then re-roll. Ooh, I got a 5. You know what happens to a 5 when you add 1 to it? Mushrooms. I left a couple steps out there, but I'm not lying to you. Okay, now I have 3 grill caps. I am assuming that I can obtain food energy from my husband, but I still have enough money to deal with it if that's not true. Hang on, this one. Start action. Amphis ingredients supplied. Okay, let me back out. Oh, that's gonna take some days, huh? It's gonna take 3 days to make that spicy broth, huh? Well, it's a good thing I got that money from disappointing my friend. So with no actions left... Oh. I can't buy from him. That's a little awkward. Yeah, it's true. He's got himself a stew going. So you can't actually buy food here, right? You can only get it from working. So I guess I have to buy from that place that's like $1 more expensive. I want someone to keep track of whether losing that extra dollar from not being a pessimist will, like, cost me the game later. Is it this one? Yes. Barter for food. Spend $16 US. Not to die. Doesn't go up or anything. I still don't understand why it's 1 more expensive. It's very odd. But hey, day 1 of being able to reroll dice feels pretty good. Got ourselves a stew going. And I still have a dumpster to live in. And -1 friend. Which is, like, a lot easier to manage socially. Because I am garbage people. Got a 6 and some 4s, and a 2 that's not particularly useful. Probably going to reroll that. Even if that comes out as a 1, that sounds better for me. So what can I do today, now that I've done mostly everything I needed to do in the short term? Just double checking. Am I past? I'm assuming I'm not. But am I at a point where I don't break the game? I mean, I guess the problem is I can't really disable my tracker right now, right? Well, no, the reason I can't do that is specifically because I'm not doing the thing. Okay. Extract the past. Have an agent. Do they also require 1, or do they have like a different number? I haven't really paid close attention to these guys. Ooh, 2. I could spend a 2 to do that. I mean, I know that. No, that's not. That is separate, right? From his other task? I think I would be able to, like... Ethan's subplot flag messes up the Ripperworm's flag. That feels like a really big oversight. Like, that feels like a pretty big whoops, to be honest with you. Because, like, I feel like the way this story has unfolded, at least from my experience, is like... The developers probably should have anticipated an interaction between those two storylines, and they should function... Well, I suppose they should simply function. Would it cause whatever this error is for me to obtain a have an agent data, but not turn it in? Like, can I, like, commit that 2 on a day where I have an extra 2 and that not cause a problem? I don't really know what I'm doing. It's nice to have the 6 to do something that, like... I mean, at this point, I suppose the reason not to try and do Tavla, whatever, is that you could lose $3. But, like, gaining energy is, like, not a great extra bonus. Oh, the last time I looked at this, I hadn't invested in the Intuit. So, like, now I have a thing that's not as horrible for this. Ooh, you would take condition damage? You got a bad roll here? That's pretty not good. You get minus energy if you screw up scale dispo. That actually does make sense. Because it sounds like you're literally just climbing an object, and if you fell off it, it would hurt bad. I just, like, the game hasn't given me a sense of, like, why I would want to climb the spoke, but it does feel like something I should want to do. Also, if the Yatagan are involved generally in the low-end area, I probably should advance whatever this clock is. It does kind of suck. to interpret this that if I got a critical success on block maintenance, I wouldn't get 2 clock points? That seems kind of ridiculous. I could probably use the energy, to be honest. Like, generally, I don't think it's a good reward. But, like, also, my food friend is, like, busy making a stew. I don't know, it's like $1 extra. So we got that lottery coming up. How else am I supposed to get, like, ship mine doodad widgets? Not seeing anything else that would, like, obviously generate them. We're not close to flotilla aid because, like, I'm not so invested in what's going on there that I want to try and, like, get 2 more mushrooms. I could spend some time at the aviary. Really not sure how helpful that is. Yeah, since it's DLC, I kind of had a sense it was, like, not a thing I should rush for. Any other reasons set aside. Can't stop thinking about that ort fabricator. What's the other thing here? Oh, just like track them. Let's see how this goes. Neutral outcome, no additional energy plus Lowlander. That's awkward, but expected. So I think that position being where it is, might as well spend this here. And then obviously get the critical there, which is also awkward in its own way. But I think really don't want to run negative on either of those, but I also don't want to spend a 6. But I could spend, well, if I spend the 6 somewhere else and then reroll the 2, I could get something worse and then not advance this thing. I mean, at least I'll get some money by getting a critical success here. 3 whole dollars. So impressive. I got a new drive. It is build a home. It's a derelict unit in the low end that remains unclaimed. With lots of scrap and a little work, it could be yours. Oh, good. Gather scrap at the unit, huh? Boy, that would have been nice to have earlier, huh? I don't think I should do this now. But it's definitely good to know it's here. Oh, I also got a curious data fence. You cross between 2 walls of units, one of the cavernous streets at the center of low end. The pressurized bridge is full of the clack of Tavla, the shouts of children, and the whir of air filters. We already got a few low voice characters. It just feels like a very, like, low voice sort of game. But this guy does seem to be sort of like a shisty street gambler, so I'll give him, like, something similar to that, I guess. Sleeper. Turn to see a man sitting at a toddler table alone, somehow untouched by the hustle and bustle of the people around. Gestures to the stool on the opposite side of the table. Sit. Give me a better reason to sit than being a creepy guy. Please. A group of children pushes past, shouting as they do. He gestures at them. You're ruining their game. He laughs. Broad and easy laugh. You sit at the metal stool and he starts setting out the board with counters, or at least the filter caps low-enders typically use in their place. Caster, he says, by way of introduction, looking over his glasses. Night or day? He asks, gesturing at the caps crudely sprayed white and black. I am of the moon element. He nods. The black counters are already on your side. Let's begin. You take a plastic die each, pitted and worn, and roll to determine who starts. Caster rolls a 6, you a 4. I lead. He smiles and begins to move his first cap precisely along the board. If there isn't like a turn order associated with the color like in chess, what's the point? Play passes back and forth between you, the dice changing hands as the caps spread along the board. As it does, Caster speaks, eyes not leaving the caps. It is unusual to see a sleeper on the eye. That's why I wanted to play with you. You take your turn rolling a 5 and a 6. I'm gonna play carefully. I don't want him to learn too much about me or whatever. I don't know how that translates. You're right, it does look a little like backgammon. Is there a turn order associated with black and white and backgammon? I don't know if I've ever properly played that game. After all, a sleeper's mind must somehow be different to a human one. Being emulated, I mean. As Caster talks, you build up a wall of caps, stacking them safely across the board. Progress is slow, but you remain unexposed. Don't mean to offend you, Caster meets your eye. I merely see that you are, by definition, different. What has been subtracted in the emulation? What has been added? He slides a single cap onto an open point. A risk and an opportunity. He hands you the dice. Do you ever think about this, sleeper? About what you were before and what you are now? Yeah, I think so. You roll a double 1 and solidify your wall. Caster whistles. Whew. The holding game. Commendable. Can be brave to build from what came before. He rolls the dice and leaps your wall in a single move. But we cannot be idle too long, sleeper. The slower we move, the sooner we're caught. The past you is not just an idea, a concept for you. It is a living, breathing person. He looks up over his glasses, his eyes bright and wide. You split from them like a shadow splitting from its caster. They may be sleeping now, yes, but one day they will awake and carry on with their lives unaware of your fate, no matter what it may be. He hands you the dice, smiling. You are a branch severed from the main trunk, an offshoot who refuses to die, so to speak. You roll again, under pressure now, trying to slip your caps out from under Caster's before he solidifies control of the game. So what I'm curious about is how you see yourself in all this. What does this tangle of truths make you? I like driven. Free feels far too optimistic considering we're being, like, slowly pursued to death by an alcoholic John Wayne, and doomed is just, I mean, it's too real, to be honest. So I'm gonna go with driven. Caster laughs. That much is obvious, sleeper. I see it in your eyes. You're eager to make this all count for something. Caster looks away through the glass to the crowded units on all sides. But driven towards what? He starts removing caps. His home board now full. Is there an end there, or just endurance? Try a few more rolls, attempting to get back in the game, but Caster clears his home board with a sense of the inevitable. He has known he was winning for a while. I feel I may have pushed too far. He slides another cap from the board. I apologize. My curiosity has a habit of getting the better of me. You roll to return a cap to the board, but all the spaces are blocked. Caster clasps his hands apologetically. You play well, really. Your weakness is not your game. He smiles warmly. We have much to learn from each other. Slides his glasses back up his nose and sits back. I feel we could share knowledge, ideas, perhaps even data. His eyes glint with that last word. To our mutual benefit. He slides the final cap from the board. It's over. He's won. I'll see. Please. Don't want to make you uncomfortable. He holds up his palms. My intention is only to help you endure here, and if I'm able, feed my curiosities. The game over, you notice the bustle of the walkway once more. The call of the children, deliveries, arguments, and reconciliations. They wash over you as you stand and leave. Caster nodding goodbye as you do. Crossing the walkway, you replay the moves of the game in your mind, looking for an opening you're sure was there. That's very interesting. So, like, obviously I'm unlikely to help with Yanagon business since I'm trying to use those to advance Sabine's story. Considering that this 2 is, like, not especially good, maybe I should get an answer about whether it's safe to do the 2 here. But I think regardless, I'm going to try to re-roll the 2 and see if I get a 1 or something better than a 2. Got a 3. It's 1 better than a 2. So what does that make me want to do? I have enough energy. I'm not in immediate danger there. Well, the drawing's tomorrow, isn't it? I don't have a good feeling about the drawing, to be honest. Been distracted by the day. Didn't I find some place where I could, like, salvage scrap? Did I imagine this? I don't really know what to do with my 3, to be honest. What's, like, most valuable? Maybe just, like, some more money for now? I expect to get food. Is that also tomorrow? No, it's 2 days off. I think I have something I can advance with a mediocre roll without too much danger over here, don't I? No, there's a stealing clock there. This one's pretty not good, right? An endurance. Oh no, that's not so bad. But it takes a lot of effort to get there, huh? It's weird that there's, like, so much real estate that as, like, an unhoused robot I can just sort of take advantage of in this, like, confined space station. And there's also this. I don't know. I still don't know how important that is. I think it's better to build some resources because I'm not... There's like a couple uncertain things about the future. Let me just work this. Try and get more than 6 cryo. Hey, I did it. Alright. I'm gonna go to bed and see if I win the lottery tomorrow. Again, not sure if that's like an actual, like, literal... like, chance drawing, or if so, like, what the in-game odds would be, but we'll find out. A little starving, don't worry about that. Well, let's see how this goes. Crowds have already gathered by the time you get to the shipyard, and you recognize faces among them. People you have worked alongside on the sidereal. The intervening cycles have turned their excitement to anxiety, and a few of them smile at you. Instead, the nervous energy of the crowd fills its space, creating a feedback loop of growing tension. You pick out Lem and Mina and work your way over to them, pushing through the crowd. He silently raises his eyebrows at you, his anxiety obvious, but Mina flashes you a huge smile, unaware of the tension. "Robot!" she says, reaching out to you. Give her a hug. She gratefully accepts your hug, leaning against your chest, and Lem smiles, seemingly glad to share the weight of Mina for a moment. "Quite the turnout, huh?" Lem glances around, pulling Mina close. "I don't think patience is one of the crowd's strengths." The sound of an argument towards the back catches your and Lem's attention. He's putting it lightly. This place seems set to explode. "It's not great." Lem doesn't dare answer, but the look in his eyes suggests he agrees. "This is Aster Enghart of the Sellers Foundation." An announcement echoes from the speakers at the shipyard entrance and shouts, "Quiet!" "I'm sorry I can't be there to meet you all, and thank you on behalf of Sendre Sellers for the work you have done on the sidereal horizon." Most of the crowd strains to see Aster's face, but the small display shows only a ghostly white figure smudged and unclear. "Sandre wanted me to pass on her personal thanks for your commitment and belief in the Sellers Foundation's mission. We chose the Eye for this project because we knew that we would find like-minded individuals here, especially among the ranks of the venerable Havenage Association. Unlike most of the Corps, we neither believe in Erlin's Eye to be a threat or a rogue state, but instead an embryo for the formation of a new, decentralized social structure. One where each citizen might be the master of their own destiny. Some sort of citizen sleeper, if you will." Ripple of impatience runs through the crowd. They didn't come for a sermon. "You are all pioneers, just like those core citizens who the sidereal horizon will carry in cryo-sleep, to the planet that will become the Foundation's first frontier world, Celis 1. At the mention of the destination world, excited conversations break out among the workers. "There, our citizens will be able to create their own innovative bottom-up economic order, aligned with the principles set down by Sandre Celis herself. Freedom, resilience, and a fanatical devotion to the Pope. This is all thanks to your tireless efforts here in the Havenage Yards. As a reward for those efforts, you may know that we are offering a select group the opportunity to join the caretakers of this vision. The staff of the Sidereal Horizon who will maintain the vessel during its multi-decade transit through interstellar space." Lem turns to you, eyes bright. "This is it. This draw has been performed at random by the central AIs of the Foundation and is final and binding. Please note only licensed contractors of the Foundation are eligible for this draw. I know you have all been eagerly awaiting this day, and without further delay, I will now read the Celis identification numbers of those chosen for this great honor." A murmur runs through the crowd. Celis identification numbers? Licensed contractors? You never even heard the term mentioned before. Is this something you were supposed to be assigned? Wait, didn't we have identification numbers? You glance at Lem, but his eyes are fixed forward, wide and shimmering. All around you, people are speaking in hushed tones, like a rising wave. Aster starts reading out sequences of numbers and letters, and panic begins to set in. No one seems to know what's happening. Somewhere near the front of the crowd, someone shouts in celebration, and everyone pushes forward. Lem? Turn to see Lem still staring forward. Mina's scared now as the shouts start. "Daddy!" Someone throws something at the entrance, and it rattles against the shipyard's doors. You see, for the first time, Havenage security stood on either side, scared, arguing between themselves. You feel the anger rising in the crowd. Lem, let's go. He doesn't move. They might call out names. I can't. Mina tugs at his dog tags. Buddy, I think it's a scam. At least they paid us. Lem blinks rapidly and then turns to you. He opens and closes his mouth and looks down at Mina. He sees the fear in her eyes and understands. It's time to go. You lead Lem and Mina out, shoving people aside. As you do, you hear the sound of scuffles emerging at the front of the crowd. Metal canisters bouncing off the shipyard walls. You keep your head down and walk away, the sound of Aster reading off the ciphers echoing above the chaos like some strange mantra. When you turn to Lem, there are tear tracks running down his cheeks, and Mina is sniffling into his jacket. You feel the sadness rising into you, too. They screwed you. Screwed all of you. You were never even on the list. The feeling is as unpleasant as it is familiar. You stare ahead into the tunnel as the security sirens sound out, a signal for the coming violence. Drive failed feels disingenuous. I mean, like, maybe if you stay and fight and are willing to risk, like, Lem and Mina's safety, like, you can fight your way on the ship or something, but, like, that feels like, at best, a huge risk. What's the clock for? This one is, like, for the ship to leave, I think. It says, they're gonna start moving the sidereal horizon to the hub. I don't exactly know what that means, but I think it's something involving it departing. Oh, hang on. Something bad is happening here. Lem's out. There's a note on the door of the unit. Sleeper, gone to find work. The hub in the center. Oh, like at the top of the spoke? I'm gonna spend a 1 on this Yatagan agent and extract his data. Is the hunter attacking me today or the next time I do this? The next time. Okay. So let's turn that in and see what happens. And then leave. As you turn away from the terminal, the final cache of Yatagan data is uploaded. The air crackles with white noise. Sleeper. Sabine's voice, weaker than before, comes through the haze. Sabine? A sigh of relief comes through the layers of noise. The call must be coming from somewhere in the station. This has to be short. I don't know if Yatagan are monitoring me. Their voice is hushed, distant. You try to focus on it. The data you've been bringing in from Yatagan agents, there's something in it I don't understand. A shrill howl rattles through the signal. The data's all gleaned from their implants, records of integration with their nervous systems, performance analysis, error rates, usage data. I installed many of these implants, and I didn't enable any of this functionality. Their voice dips under the level of the noise, like a swimmer slipping beneath the water. You listen to the waves for a few seconds before Sabine reemerges. It has to be somehow baked into their wetware's interface, and that's not all. The systems compiling this data are connected to some kind of transmission protocol. It's being broadcast. But why? Every Yatagan enforcer is equipped with black market implants, retinal enhancements, adrenaline boosters, pain suppressors. These implants are gathering data on themselves, on the enforcer's body, on their performance, but I don't know why. I can promise you these foot soldiers have no idea this is going on. Background tone switches, dropping to a grainy rumble. If they knew, I don't imagine why they'd be happy with the situation. Yatagan could have a mutiny on their hands. You lean toward the terminal, straining to listen to Sabine's faint voice. I need a few cycles to pull this all together, but this might be the information I need to pressure Yannick into releasing my debt. Yannick? One of the heads of Yatagan. It's better you don't know him. Keep it that way. Suddenly a banging echoes through the call. Sabine's voice is suddenly whispered, panicked. I have to go. Come back in 4 cycles. Then a sharp crack of disconnect and silence fills the apartment. You step back from the terminal. What does Yatagan have to gain from monitoring its own members? You try to recall what you know about the gang, but you have little to go on. You think of Toshiro, Sabine's minder, his mirrored teardrop implants set below his hard eyes. But what data could they be gathering, and more importantly, where are they sending it? You reflexively rub your forehead, trying to think. Can you really trust Sabine? How did they come to be Yatagan's doctor in the first place? You think their kindness, their care, but also that glazed look of recognition they gave you when they first met you. That look stays in your mind as you slip out the back of the apartment, glancing around as you close up and drift into the corridors of the station, unable to shake the unpleasant sensation of being observed. It's weird, this post-capitalist dystopia, life's not going well here. So now I kind of have a reason to try and climb this thing, huh? It takes me to where the ship is going. Don't know that it would do me any good, but at least it would give me more information and options. Probably need to reroll at least the 3. And well, I could use the 3 to try and get food, maybe. I guess the place I would go to get food, it doesn't matter too much, whether it's like a 3 or a 1 or whatever. Really don't want to take condition damage, but at least a 5 doesn't threaten them. Do you have any other drives to care about right now? Build a ship mine's not happening. Disable the tracker's not current. Extract the pass seems to be part of that. You've been listening, but you're really stubborn about beating this thing in Isaac. Don't know why your brain wants you to suffer. Well, if you figure it out, let me know, because I got whatever that is too. I don't know. I think I'm at like a mild crossroads right now of like, I don't know how much longer the game like goes for, but like I think I'm at a point where I should either try to start committing resources to like building a permanent life here, or like double down on trying to find a way to like force my way on the ship. And the trick is like, I don't know what Lem is doing. I would like to be able to talk to Lem right now, so I would know that. Because, like, if he's planning on doing something reckless, I'd like to try and have his back. But, like, if he's trying to, like, just make ends meet, then, like, it'd be better for me to, like, try to set up an aviary where I'm harvesting mushrooms. I'm doing probably okay for money right now. I assume the second tab is going to be worse than the first. I don't know that I would expect it to be like twice as much, but even if it was, we should be fine. The trick is that, like, long term, not making a lot of money. A lot of the engineering work is dried up. And by a lot of it, I mean basically all of it. Don't know if it's better to try opening up the commune. It's just tough because the game doesn't give you much sense of what you might expect to happen when you complete these clocks. And I feel like in a real life situation, you might have like at least a vague impression on what you could hope to achieve by like working hard at a certain place over time. Give me 3 points in aviary. I think I'd rather not spend money on food today. So let's work for the Shady Noodle Shop. So because this is safe, the worst case scenario would be 1 energy. So maybe I just re-roll the 3 and the 4. Because, like, it's all more or less the same, really. 2 and 6 is an interesting outcome. Gonna have an interesting day tomorrow with our mushroom friend, and also I think our tab is due. Yeah. Wait, what's going on over here? Oh, I can like actually still buy stabilizer. That was not clear to me. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So we got some progress on spoke climbing. We got some progress on the aviary. And it probably makes more sense to commit to one of those, but I just can't do it because I just don't know enough about what's going to happen. So here we are. So if I try to spend this 2, what are my actual odds of this going well? Not you. I got a coin flip to have probably the amount of energy I want. Or I could just spend this to make like $6 to $16, and if I got 16, then it would be equivalent to just having 2 food. I think that makes more sense. No, I did 6, or what's the middle one here? Like 13? Either way, I still think this makes more sense. 11. Sure. 11. Fine. So I'm going to spend $16 US not to starve. We'll still have 4 dice in the morning, and we'll have some interesting stuff to do, and that might be our last cycle for the day. Go to sleep. Obviously a little starving. Ooh, 3 6s and a 4. Hey, you know what's really good for starving? Having a mushroom friend. Let me deal with Ethan first. Compressor is quiet today. Usual crowds are elsewhere, and the pumping music washes over a handful of spacers and a few drunks. Ethan is still in the same stool in the same pool of light. His head low, close to the bar, and the bartender's ignoring him. Approach him. As you get closer, he lifts his head and turns. Sleeper. Turns to look at you. Time to pay up again, is it? He gestures to the bartender. Come here and take their chits. No more, Ethan. Ethan doesn't even look at you. He props his elbows up on the bar and holds his head. Sleeper, it's been a long cycle. Enough. Ethan lets out a long sigh. He rapidly rubs his eyes with his palms. You are right, he says quietly. This isn't fun anymore. Reaches towards his holster. His elbow slips and the gun tumbles out, clatters onto the bar, and falls to the floor, bouncing on the ground between you. Both you and the bartender look at the gun. Stare at it. Look at the gun. Butterfingers, says Ethan, and puts out a hand beckoning for you to give him the gun back. If you would. The bartender looks at you warily. You crouch down and pick up the gun. So that's why the next one isn't pay your debt, huh? I mean, I know it doesn't solve the problem long term, but it seems pretty difficult to manage to shut off the tracker without him trying to kill me, considering his proximity. Ethan turns his head in your direction with a little sharp, pale eye locking yours. The bartender backs away. Oh, he turns on the stool. Oh, sleeper. This is more like it. Yeah, I mean, like, he's not in a great position to fight back. I feel like I probably shouldn't have aimed the gun at him if I didn't intend to just kill him, right? Like, at this point, I don't think there's any negotiating with him. So I think I'm just gonna do it. You don't wait, and you pull the trigger. Gun clicks. By now, all the attention of the bar is on you and Ethan, who looks at his gun with bemused expression. Bartender raises an open hand, and in it are 10 shiny bullets. 10 shiny bullets he took out of Ethan's gun while he was asleep on the bar. Ethan smiles at the bartender. Oh, well, he says and grabs the gun, slamming it back in your face in a single move. You stagger back and drop to a knee. Somewhere nearby, the gun clatters onto a surface. The hit's a glancing blow, but it makes your vision swim. Through the blur, you see Ethan wrestle a small, thin slate from his belt and hold it up. Enough of this. I'm logging the job and calling it in. He taps the slate. No more playing. Your head aches. Ethan taps through a few screens impatiently, swears and taps again, starts shouting. Dull echo ringing in your ears. He starts screaming at the slate and throws it across the bar. Crouches down and grabs you by the chin, his face close, breath heavy, arms weak, mom's spaghetti. S&R just screwed me, he grins maniacally. They canceled the contract. He stands up. They canceled the contract, Pilgrim, he shouts at the ceiling of the compressor. You stand up, struggling to your feet, the sting of the hit fading. Ethan's rubbing his temples, his face pale. You hear a clicking sound like coins being counted, like bullets being loaded into a magazine. You shake off the last of the blur of the bartender as Ethan's pistol's trained on Ethan's head. Ethan stumbles back towards the middle of the room, all eyes trained on him. I'll kill all of you, he screams. He stumbles into the wall, spinning away toward the door. I'll be back for that, Pilgrim, he shouts at the bartender and lunges out of the compressor. You steady yourself on the bar and catch your breath. The rumble of the conversation returns. The bartender goes to say something, but then thinks better of it and begins to clean the bar. After a while, you wander out into the light of the bright market, looking for Ethan around every corner. That went different than I expected it to do. Emphas, Mushroom Husband! Emphas is preparing the Girolle caps. He has had to heavily adapt his recipe, he says, but the smell is already incredible. It emanates from a strange purplish white bulb you've never seen before. He's slicing it finely. He brushes it and slices the mushrooms and then places them in the wok, with the sliced bulb and the oil. They caramelize there, in that well-worn crucible. He adds liquids, transparent and opaque, then turns down the heat. A sprinkle of leaves is the final touch. We have a moment, sleeper, he smiles. Do you have a story? Something in the scent of the food gives you a feeling of nostalgia, something distant and melancholic. It seems like the story should match that feeling somehow, and maybe you'll feel better for telling it. I will recall my oldest memory. You start by explaining that when you are emulated from a person, many of your memories are left behind. Perhaps it is an intentional part of the process, a way of keeping sleepers ignorant and malleable, or maybe a side effect of the imperfect emulation. You admit that you don't really know. What you do know is that some memories survive and that on occasion they come back to you, like shadows passing overhead. You detail one recurring memory, which, despite returning to you with enough regularity for you to think it familiar, always fades as quickly as it arrives. You struggle to explain the feeling of being whole for a moment that comes with this memory, and then how that wholeness slips away to leave you feeling like you have forgotten something important but can't bring it to mind. Emphas nods throughout, cooking as he does with deft, skillful movements. You start to trail off when you realize you can't find the words to explain how the memories you do have feel like both yours and someone else's at the same time, and how that always fills you with a certain sadness. The sadness of remaining forever unknown, even to yourself. Emphas finishes cooking and meets your eye. I'm sorry, Sleeper, for your troubles. He puts the wok to one side. I appreciate you sharing with me. I hope it lightens you a little. He passes you a bowl and heaps the Girolles into it, their yellow color mixing with the pale sauce in whorls and blooms. Eat. The dish is delicious, filling. It warms you as you eat it in a way you weren't even sure your body could be warmed. It is a small mercy you think that SNARP left you this pleasure. Many of the features of frames are there to simulate human experience, you know that much. Emulated minds cannot be rewired, so their need for embodied experience must be met. This is why you breathe even when you do not need air. Without that simulation, the sensation of drowning would be unbearable. Food serves another purpose. Your frame is able to metabolize it and produce energy from the raw material. Vitamins and minerals are excess, of course. Your frame only needs raw power. So much is wasted. And yet, when you eat this food and feel that warmth, nothing feels wasted. It all means something to you. As you finish, Emphas takes the bowl, the last of his cleaning. He smiles at you, and neither of you feel the need to say anything more. Instead, you simply exchange nods and walk your separate ways back to Bright Market, somehow changed. Emphas loves two things, story and food. Maybe if you supply him with both, you can hear his story. Now he needs Matsuki caps? And of course the tracker is useful as ever. Don't know if he can cook while carrying all of that. That of pure junk food is good for you in this world. I knew this game was relatable in a way I hadn't yet made tangible. Hey, some scrap. And I don't have to pay that guy's bar tab. So I can spend about half my money to try and make a house. Or perhaps in the process get some like ship mine fragments that I don't really know where else to get. Hey, what's going on here? Well, gotta say that these don't feel likely. Oh man, plus random items though. Steal a shipment? Good God. Let me see if I can figure out where... No, wait, they're Matsutake caps. No, you only get Girolle caps here. So that's why I need to work the aviary or whatever. So if I spent 3 6s, then I could have my very own mushroom farm. And that is a drive, isn't it? Grow mushrooms. You know what? Sure. I know it'll make Neko happy. She beat me to that in chat by like 15 seconds. What about climbing the spoke? I mean, I don't know what happens if I climb the spoke. How much would it take to climb the spoke? It's like a lot more, right? Because I think critical hits are 2 there. Yeah, best I can do is 2. I don't really know what my next goal is for upgrade points, to be honest. I mean, interface would let me do some thieving that might let me get parts to build a ship mind core. What do I need a ship mind core for, if not for the ship? And there's like... $2 days for this. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm mushroom farming. Now, a good question for the day is what to do with the 4. Could climb this bike for 2 6s and have 1 left for mushrooms. Oh, I could certainly hedge, but one of these lets me have mushrooms today. What is the total number of... I do feel like I've been grifted out of some drives that feel complete, but it's kind of hard to truly argue them. Yeah, I mean, I could also hedge this way. Actually, it doesn't take that many... It only takes 6 total here, huh? Let me roll my 5 here and see what happens. Because that... I have like a 50% chance of that being like a critical hit. Okay. So that's a little tougher. Because now I got a 6 left over. And I could use it to definitely climb the spoke. Or to definitely start the mushroom farm. The thing is that, like, the mushroom farm is a drive. It helps me in the short term and presumably helps me advance another important drive. But there could be anything on the other side of the spoke. It could even be a boat. Like a space boat. They're called ships. I know, I should re-roll the 6, and that will somehow help me make this decision. Oh, hang on. That success generated this. Sell ship mind. Paz says she has a contract who will take ship mines, but she reminds you any ship mine from the eye fetches a lower price. That's weird. Oh. Export Matsutake. Paz knows a spacer who will take Matsutake out to the Starward Belt, but only in bulk. 80 cryo for 3 batches. Or you could buy a ship mine core, which is a really peculiar balance of things. Like, that tells me that there's some reason why I would want my own ship mine core. I still don't know what that is. But it makes me think that until I know more, I wouldn't want to sell one for 150 cryo. If I could get fragments, I could make it myself. I'm a wrench guy. I think, like before, I probably should climb the spoke, because I don't know how much time there is before this goes upstairs, or if there's another clock up there, or if I have to care. I don't want to, though. But I think I'm going to. I should just have more options. I just want mushrooms instead of options, you understand? Is there a reason why I would do this other one instead? No, because it's -1, and it would be objectively bad. Solve the Sphinx's riddle. Okay, I did it. And that lets me ascend car to go up. Okay, now I'm at the hub. And I can do these things. Interface or engage. And advance a clock called Weightless Wanderer. Up here there is no gravity. So even just moving around takes a while to get used to, let alone navigating the bays. You could do an interface. Stank bays, house of flow of incoming and outgoing ships. The digital manifest will help you get your head around this place. Advance it and you lose energy if you screw up. Or the other one, which I have a negative bonus to, loses you money when you screw up. Again, the game hasn't really told me why I would want this. I don't need any food for today. Do I want to do this? Probably not yet while there's still time on the clock before it goes away. But I do think I'm likely to want to buy this and hope to construct a ship mine core that I really hope is a cool thing. I don't know why my character just like on day like 4 was like, you know what I should do is build a ship mine core. When I still don't even really know what that is. But I'm going to go to bed. We'll see what condition my condition is in, which is -1. 6431. That is okay, especially with the reroll. Alright, that doesn't have to happen today. So, this is... Alright, he's gonna do something tomorrow. She's gonna do something tomorrow. So tomorrow's gonna be another interesting day. And then... Ascend car? Anything different over here? Not... Yeah. Not... so much. It may be the case that if I achieve Weightless Wanderer, then I can do some sort of spaceship heist. But I don't feel like I want to overly commit to that until I have some sense I might actually be able to do that. I think I'm gonna do like a partial day. I think I'm gonna like clear the aviary and see what happens, and then save the rest of the day for the next time we play on next Friday. I might get a drive point for this. I'm not entirely sure about that. Germinate spores. Aw, man, that sucks. The growth of the aviary has created a rich medium into which you can place the spores from the groves. Right, and the spores from the groves... Well, at least that's an intuit action. It's weird that mushrooms are so intuitive. So it's a risky... I'm gonna reroll like a bunch of this crap, to be honest. Maybe all the rest of these dice, but I think I'll save that decision for next time. So one spore does advances fungal beds, I guess. It actually is weird that it's not showing me my like intuition on like what happens when I advance this one. I feel like it should. Once they're filled, they can be left to grow. Man, it takes forever to make mushrooms. Is that the only way to make Matsutakes? Because like that feels like a lot of effort. I feel like Memphis better be ready to get married after I get him these double fancy mushrooms. Yeah, I think we'll leave it here. I think this is a good place to leave it. I would rather like start the next session with that like exciting day on the horizon. Matsutake are highly prized. Tell me more about these fancy mushrooms. And I promise I'm not going to try and show you a trailer for that game I want to play, because it takes 20 minutes off my life when I do. Let's just... Last autosave was 54 seconds ago in game. That's fine. Hey, you know what's really exciting about this controller that I got for Christmas? Is that its battery isn't dog water, and as a result, it's still charged. It's still considerably more charged than not, instead of running out after like 40 minutes. It does sound like there's some potential for us to do a spaceship heist. I don't know if the spaceship heist requires us to have a ship mine core. At the moment, I'm really trying not to commit any resources because we're at a point in the plot where I have less idea of what is important long term. And so I'm trying to keep options as open as possible. And I swear I'm trying to like work towards these drives, but it's like really inconsistent how like difficult they are. Matsutake are the most prized mushroom in Japan. Single fresh one can cost $100. Well, what does that translate to in space dollars US? Matsutake tend to grow in mountainous areas, but they're rare and lose flavor quickly. That's an interesting fact. Those aren't I mean, I know that like truffles are their own type of mushroom, but like is there some equivalent of like truffle hunting pigs to find these rare mushrooms? Already translated to American dollars, but unsure how that translates to space. Well, that's what I'm asking you. I'm really stupid. I don't know. I'm enjoying this game. I don't know if it's been kind of a quiet night in chat. Haven't had as many like sometimes followers checking in. So I don't know if that's like people not interested in the game or whatnot. I don't think it's an extremely long game. I'm getting the impression that this game may last long enough for Old Skies to come out. And if that is the case, I think the idea is that when Old Skies comes out, I'll do that one stream night and probably start Shadow Gambit the Curse Crew. What's that date? That's such a good question that I didn't look up between yesterday and today. I want to say it's like April 20 something, but I don't know. I read it at some point and it's gone now. I haven't been paying much attention to the currency. What's your pay like compared to America? Well, let's see. I haven't really done math for like what one day of work is in many years. And I'm not doing that on stream or saying that number. So suffice it to say that a day's work is probably more than like, I don't know. I guess it's weird because like we don't have a regular day rate in this game. Like some days we probably have made like 50 space dollars, but like a lot of days like 8 space dollars or something. April 23rd. I was close with my not committal date. Yeah, I guess we're mid-March still, so maybe it won't last all the way till then. I don't There's a chance we could start Thousand Eyes Resist or Thousand Times Resist. I think if you fuse Thousand Times Resist with the ritual summon monster Relinquish, then you can summon Thousand Eyes Relinquish. For those Yu-Gi-Oh fans who aren't currently present in chat. I don't know. Maybe I mean like maybe if we finish this game, we just like play a bunch of Shadow Gambit the Curse Crew. I don't know. I'm really interested in it. I know there's a non-zero number of people in chat who have been increasingly telling me that I should just play games on stream that I want to play, which is hard in a way. Some of the things that I would just like want to play in general, I don't think fit the tone or style of the stream. Some of them I think are things that regular viewers just like wouldn't necessarily want to watch. And then there's also the case that like I feel like almost the entirety of 2024 offered me like no games that I was interested in that were brand new. That's probably not literally true. I mean, like Balatro came out last year and it's a good game, but like for my purposes, it was not a particularly good year for games that I would tend to play. Do you want to play something like Fortnite or Battlefront to get viewers? Is your question, do I hate myself and like to be embarrassed? No. I mean, also, I don't think either of those games is very likely to get me viewers for multiple reasons. One, not being particularly good at them. I don't think that's going to be a particularly big draw. But also, I think that they're probably pretty saturated markets in terms of viewership or whatever. This year has Pirate Yakuza and hopefully Subnautica 2. I thought Subnautica 2 was out. Is it not? I don't know. Subnautica has never particularly interested me. I know it makes me kind of an outlier. I know some people are like really scared of like the deep sea concept or whatever. It just doesn't seem like, I don't know, it's like largely a crafting game, and I feel like you gotta give me something to make the crafting game interesting to me. And I don't know, from what I've seen of that game, it's not it. There's a second Subnautica game, but it's not Subnautica 2. That's fair. I was pretty sure another Subnautica game came out, but as silly as that distinction may sound, that is fair. But like there's a distinction, Demolition, between like just playing what I want, because like sometimes I would just like, you know, play a Balatro for like 2 hours or whatever, and like people were like clearly not extremely into that or whatever. I guess to answer your question, the streaming isn't just supposed to be an outlet for me to spend my time gaming, because I could do that without streaming. I feel one of the few narcissisms I allow myself is that like I believe that I bring something to the table as an entertainer and I have some kind of audience, and I'm trying to be mindful of something that makes spending time here worth their while. I don't feel like that's that complicated of a question, but I think for someone who maybe doesn't stream, it's a reasonable distinction to make. Blue Zero was supposed to be DLC for Subnautica, but it got too big. I mean, that feels like a self-contained allegory for Subnautica, is it not? Something something Leviathan, something something horrible, deep old ones. Hey, here's a fun fact before we wrap up the stream. As of today, I've now witnessed twice a strange cat behavior I haven't heard of before, which is two cats with their faces very close together, meowing at each other as loudly as they possibly can. Now, it's not unusual in my mind for cats to be territorial towards each other or to posture or whatever, but there's some kind of like urban legend style thing where people claim that cats largely only vocalize around humans and don't communicate with each other that way. But then sometimes I see cats do this. in fairness, tonight they were right outside the streaming window doing it in pitch darkness, but uh, I would say I witnessed it nonetheless. So like, yeah, cats being territorial, not weird. Cats loudly vocalizing in a way that they're allegedly not inclined to do with non-humans seems weird to me. But I've always kind of been skeptical of that claim. Also, how I don't know what the takeaway from that is. But just interesting observation. They were like 2 feet outside this window screaming at each other. The other time they did it, they were like right outside my front door. I have the world's worst video of it that I showed to my mom at one point. Cats really only meow the way a kitten does with humans. They do vocalize. Expect them to be loud in the spring due to mating season. Make a lot of weird sounding calls. I don't know. I guess we're not that deep into spring. But the like territorial screaming is like the only vocalization they've really made other than like when something spooked them or whatever. And even then, not so much. Spring hasn't even started yet. False. Spring Squirtle's up. So, I don't make the rules. I just decide when the emotes go up. And it's up as of like 2 days ago. So it's spring now. Also, March is spring. Anyone who says otherwise is just, I don't know, a degenerate liar. Spring starts March 20th. Nah. March is spring. Anyway, look at this stuff. This stuff is amazing. I have lots of big friends and small friends. Somewhere among these friends, I have some Squirtles. If you can find those Squirtles, of course, it will be an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. See if you can find a Squirtle. Just because the Irish get senselessly drunk tomorrow doesn't make it spring. I don't think my argument was hinged on that at all, though it is factual. Is that a big Pikachu guess or a small Pikachu guess? It may be an important distinction, Demolition, as we have big and small. Mentioned Spring Squirtle, which is a St. Patrick's Day Squirtle. Yeah, but the point is that there are 4 seasons. There are 4 seasonal emotes. The spring emotes up. That's all the math there is. Okay, big Pika guess. Did you have a guess, Neko? By Carlittle or Jigglypuff? Now, when you say Carlittle, you mean this guy, yeah? Yeah, that should be right. That should be correct. 4 Seasons. That's the hotel that press conference was at. Yeah, the hotel. All right. Let's start here. My mom had guessed that our pirate had Eevee. Oop. Could be concealing a Squirtle. And of course, there was a Carlittle guess. But alas, not a Squirtle there this time. It's a little rabbit. You could call it a Bun Bun. After all, Easter is coming. There's also a suggestion that Listen, I love the polka dolls. You have to work really hard to get them to stand up. It's kind of a design feature, but also mildly inconvenient, we'll say. There's also a suggestion that perhaps behind our large Flareon, who is asleep, we may have a Squirtle. And if you notice, we got a little familiar looking tail. You don't want to stand up either? Just gonna be like that? I feel like that's pretty rude. Cover! Now over here to demonstrate, there is a distinction between small Pika, who has an even tinier Carlos with him, and large Pika, who has a Squirtle. Because you see, in this big and small theme, large friends were hiding Squirtles, like our big Flareon compared to our small Flareon, very small. And one other thing I'd like to show you is that our large Jigglypuff, big Jigglypuff, oh perfect, big Jigglypuff has a new Squirtle. This is the Pokédoll Squirtle. It's from the same line as these big-headed Eevees. He has such good features. He has his little like turtle beak. He has these great little stubby arms and legs. His shell is amazing, and his tail is perfect. He's so good. Now he does have like the kind of like old school like full-on spooky red eyes, but like he's just so good. He's like small and like his dimensions are perfect. It's very good. I couldn't not get him, even though I very much could do that and should have done that. It almost looks like Ditto transformed as a Squirtle. Yeah, kind of. Also, if you didn't get that good look at Flareon earlier, this is the new one, and she has the absolute biggest keychain ring of all time. He has a reasonably sized head. It's true. It's interesting sometimes to like look at when you have like a single line of like Pokemon plush. You're like, well, are these the same species? These like big head, tiny body Eevee and this like perfectly proportioned Squirtle? The forces that be have determined yes. I'm not entirely sure why, but I'm happy with both styles. Like this Squirtle is amazing. These big-headed Eevees are great, and I love this needlessly expensive large keychain Flareon. She's so fluffy and amazing. Pokemon on all fours tend to have it worse when they come to big heads. That's definitely true. Very few of those toys are designed in such a way that they will actually stand up correctly. Anyway, that is our stream. We're gradually making progress. One of these days we'll be married to the Mushroom Man. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. And I hope to see you again soon. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day if you care about that at all. I'll be back next Friday. I think we'll do Citizen Sleeper until we hit some logical endpoint. And then I think the more likely outcomes are to like try out Shadow Gambit, The Cursed Crew, which I do think people will like probably. I know I'm excited to try that. And also when it comes out, Old Skies. Very excited for Old Skies. I've been like I like followed the main Watch It I dev on social media and have seen him posting like a bunch of random dev things over time. Like they've been working on it for ages. So I'm really looking forward to that. But until we get there and until our next stream, remember that you are colossal.